but I know it's a huge part of culture for a lot of people. And my God, just looking at the numbers over the last couple days, 10, 12,000 people a day coming to watch the show live on YouTube. That's incredible. Seriously, thank you. If you are,
you got a haircut.
Yeah, I absolutely. I can't look like a hippie here on what's essentially television. My God. Yeah, I am honored. Seriously, like legitimately honored that many people are finding this show that way, in addition to everyone who finds it, through everything else we talk about on 710, on 97.3 HD2, and the app, and all of it. But 10, 12,000 people watching? Yeah, of course I needed a haircut. Are you kidding me? Starting to look ridiculous out here, Maura. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. My wife actually noticed this time, which was amazing. Yeah, that's how I know.
Common occurrence.
Cecily always notices. Avery didn't. I mean, she's a teenager. She's in her own world. And Heather, it's like 75-25 against. She maybe notices 25% of the time I get a haircut. And I feel like it's a drastic change every time too. I feel like I look like a different human being, and I get essentially nothing. Yeah, that means nothing. But thank you for noticing. I appreciate that about you. All right, so here we're at Game 3 tonight in Seattle. The weather is going to be probably chilly by then, but beautiful today. I mean, crisp, beautiful fall day, 60 degrees. Sun, bluebird kind of day. Should be just amazing. Unbelievable environment. First ALCS game in Seattle in 24 years. Everybody pumped. Everybody ready. George Kirby back on the mound again. I don't know what else you could ask for. And you get to do it with a 2-0 lead. So that all of that conversation we had about Friday night having kind of a party vibe to it, it should be even easier. Yeah, all right. Look, I'm not going to say that there's not a little pressure or that there's still not going to be anxiety. Of course there is. It's postseason baseball. If it doesn't come with anxiety, it's not real. But my God, for all the party environment that I saw in Game 5, which should be as nerve-wracking as it gets, I would hope that this is, just an unbelievable circus. A zoo. What is it your dad likes to say? Does he say a circus or a zoo?
Yeah.
Circus?
That's a negative thing.
I know. It's going to be a circus over there. It should be a circus in all the right ways, I would say. And I can't wait for tonight. It's been kind of fun, seeing how many people are finding the Mariners. And yeah, things like the YouTube numbers are a nice little shot in the arm for us. We really love it. Thank you. Seriously. I know we kind of joke around and I'll make fun of you all at times. But seriously, thank you. It really, really is incredible. And all of the people that have reached out over the last few days saying that, this is a big part of their experience. Really appreciate it. Really amazing. Touches us. And thank you. Apparently not everyone's gotten the message, though, Maura, about what the Mariners are up to and kind of what they're doing. Some have. And, we're going to have Alex Rodriguez on today. As I said, I feel like he's been the guy at the Fox, broadcast in general, but certainly in the pre- and post-game show, who's kind of understood the most who the Mariners are. I really do believe that the other folks haven't watched them once, at least until the postseason. Maybe they were one of the 8.5 million people that watched Game 5, but I think that's about it. I just don't think that they were ever on the radar screen for anybody else who's now being asked to talk about them. It's not bias. They don't hate the Mariners. They've just never seen them play. And I'm not sure exactly what to say is going on here. So Craig Carton, you may have heard of, used to host the show with Boomer Esiason on WFAN in New York. They got big. He got arrested. And then, he's kind of worked his way back since being in prison. And, he's got a show on Fox, got a 1-hour thing. There's some chance he might go back to WFAN, but the other hosts there don't really want him. I don't know. I don't really know that much about
Hold on, I didn't know this part of the story. What did he go to prison for?
Gambling.
Oh.
It was a gambling thing,
okay,
if you remember. In any event, maybe he needs to go back to gambling, and I don't mean to make fun of the addiction, just that he doesn't seem to have any idea what else is going on in the world outside of New York, shocker, because this is what he said about the Mariners, and specifically about Bryce Miller. I hope you'll laugh and take it in that spirit, because I don't know what else to do.
Toronto suddenly forgot how to hit a baseball, which makes me think they were probably cheating against the New York Yankees.
Cheating.
And were stealing the Yankee signs.
Well,
and I'll go to my grave believing that.
No credit to Seattle's pitcher.
No, because the dude who started for Seattle last night was a journeyman, no-name, their fourth or fifth best pitcher.
Yeah.
He was not one of their main guys. And Toronto, outside of the Springer leadoff home run, didn't hit the ball last night. And I'm saying to myself, no, wait a minute. Toronto can't hit the ball against this tool, but when Max Fried is on the mound, he couldn't get out of the third inning against this offense, right?
Yeah.
Made me start thinking, maybe we have another Houston Astros scandal on our hands.
All right, I think he's joking about the Astros thing and the cheating, although I'm not entirely sure. It's always hard to tell. Everything, as you can see, always comes back to New York. It's impossible that the Blue Jays were able to beat New York's pitching, but not the Mariners. It's not possible. It's not possible that the team with the consensus best rotation in the game heading into the year would have one of its top starting pitchers able to dominate the Blue Jays lineup when the great Max freaking Fried wasn't able to do it. What are we talking about? This can't be real life, right? A journeyman? I mean, of all the things you could say about Bryce Miller, you could say he's been injured. You could say he hasn't had the best year. You could absolutely say he was not the guy that the Mariners wanted in that situation because, Brian Wu was hurt and everyone else had been used, and it was not their ideal scenario to have Bryce Miller start game one. Journeyman? First of all, journeyman's old. How old is Bryce Miller? 25? Like, a journeyman's old. A journeyman's been around the block. The closest thing.
27. But also a journeyman journeys.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
He's been here.
The closest thing the Mariners have to a journeyman is Luis Castillo, who's at least been in 3 different organizations. He's not a journeyman because he's been up for Cy Young awards and stuff. But, eventually, if he goes to another place next year and kind of hangs on as a 4th starter or something, at that point, you could call Luis Castillo a journeyman.
Sam Darnold is a journeyman.
Yes. Sam Darnold is a journeyman. That's right. Bryce Miller is a homegrown product of the Seattle Mariners system who, heading into this year, we all thought had an opportunity to go compete for a Cy Young Award. So, look, I'm not going to blame Craig Carton for not knowing the intricate details of who pitches for the Seattle Mariners. I don't expect him to. But the lengths that New Yorkers will go to justify the fact that the Yankees lost is hilarious. And the fact that a Mariner like Bryce Miller gets caught up in the wash is just sort of the norm. Bryce Miller means nothing to Craig Carton. Bryce Miller means nothing to anybody in the Northeast. Doesn't matter what he did to Toronto. You just get, why did he do? Oh, because Toronto didn't have enough that day. They forgot how to hit. Not that Bryce Miller and the Mariners are just flat out better than Toronto. They are. Not that Bryce Miller and the Mariners are just flat out better than the Yankees. They might be. Not that the Blue Jays are flat out better than the Yankees. None of those things could be possible. The only thing that's possible is that the Blue Jays forgot how to hit against a bad journeyman pitcher named Bryce freaking Miller.
I'll blame this guy for not knowing who Bryce Miller is. Dude, look it up. You're hosting a radio show. It takes 5 seconds. I saw this all over yesterday. It was utterly ridiculous.
It is pretty hilarious. And I don't know, he sort of has a little bit of a laugh as he's saying it. So maybe there's a joke in there that we don't get. But the whole thing is just totally, totally absurd. Andrew and Elma says shades of pedestrian receivers. It's actually worse. The pedestrian receivers thing was more like, all right, none of those guys are stars. And they weren't really at the time. Bryce Miller literally isn't a journeyman pitcher. He's truly not a nobody journeyman. It's just not who he is.
If you were at one point possibly a Cy Young candidate last year, you're not a no-name.
Yeah, and if
I'm a no-name too.
If Luke Jackson had gone out and dominated the Blue Jays, then if you want to say, hey, I can't believe they're being dominated by Luke Jackson, all right, I get it. That's a journeyman pitcher, been around. Okay, I got you. Bryce Miller? I mean, come on. Just come on. Don't worry. Craig Carton is not alone. There are a lot like him. And the more games you win, the more games that are on TV nationally, the more times you dominate teams that everyone thinks is good, like the Blue Jays, and I think they're okay. I think they're a good matchup for the Mariners for a whole bunch of reasons. And the fact that they're a big contact team, I think actually plays into the Mariners' advantage. So I think the Mariners work very well against the Blue Jays. But at the end of the day, it's because the Mariners are good. That's why they beat the Tigers. It's why they ended up with the 2nd seed. It's why they're beating the Blue Jays and most likely will advance past it. And then we'll see what happens against another good team in the World Series. Mariners are good. Whether Craig Carton believes it or not, whether everyone around is shocked and surprised, whether Derek Jeter's ever watched the team, let alone heard of them, all of those things are true, whether or not those people believe it or not. And the Mariners just have to continue to go out and prove it.
This is where the baseball playoffs live.
This team is fired up. The fans here at T-Mobile Park are fired up.
The conversation.
This is the playoffs, the series we've all been talking about and pointing to.
The anticipation.
This is why you watch baseball.
And where you hear your American League West champion Mariners in the postseason.
It is gone! Jorge Polanco!
Seattle Sports Playoff coverage is presented by Honey Bucket on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Northwest homeowners, when it comes to your roof, you need a name you can trust. Techline Roofing has proudly served the Seattle area for years, delivering exceptional results and lasting security. Choose Techline Roofing. Your trust is our foundation. Trust Techline.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes! Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Out here, it's football season, where nothing beats backyard grilling, gathering around the fire pit, and cheering on your favorite team with friends. The yard is mowed, the lights are strung, and the grill is warming up. Whether you need to fill up your propane, get a new grill, or even a generator, out here, it's game day. And we're ready for it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Where you hear the AL West champion Mariners in the ALCS, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
If you've been in a wreck or a fender bender,
you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility, not just where your insurance company tells you to go. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. With over 25 years of auto repair work, they'll exceed your expectations.
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent. Accurate Auto Body.
At Accurate Auto Body, all their work is performed by certified technicians, only using OEM parts to guarantee the safety of you and your family. For the best in auto body collision repair and customer service, give them a call at 425-883-2450 or AccurateAutoBodyWA.com. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
The playoffs are here, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are bringing the heat with a rotation that's built to win. The Gas RAV4, built for every inning of Northwest life. Or go versatile with the hybrid RAV4. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and always clutch. And now, stepping up, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra. Redesigned, powerful, and built for big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com and get your championship ride.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here with Luke Wilson, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Thanks, Rick. Just like October baseball, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you schedule, and you'll score 15% off plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. This is your chance to swing big. This offer won't be around for extra innings.
Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
ALCS action returning to Seattle tonight for the first time in 24 years. Game 3, 5:08 p.m. It'll be George Kirby back on the hill for the first time since his tremendous performance on Friday night in Game 5 against the Tigers. In fact, Dan Wilson, pretty impressed with his whole pitching staff right now.
I mean, obviously, the experience of it's huge, and we've talked about that all along. Just getting your feet wet, getting a chance to get out there and get that first one under your belt, and it does take a minute. And I think the way we've seen our guys adjust to it has been great. They again, this is a group that's tight. The whole pitching staff together is tight. They share information. They talk about it. They let each other know what it's like, and so they're a little bit more prepared too. So it's good knowing that these guys have had a little bit of experience now under their belt, and they're ready to go.
All right, well, puts George on regular rest once again, allows Luis Castillo that extra day before he goes tomorrow, and it does mean they don't need to throw Brian Wu at all potentially in this series if they don't want to. Certainly if you win the next 2 games, though it does sound like he could be ready to go in Game 5 on Friday. He spoke to the media yesterday.
Yeah, the live went great. Just slowly trying to build over the last couple weeks. Like I said, do it the right way. Obviously frustrating not being out there, but yeah, everything looks good, feels good so far. So I'll be ready to go whenever my name gets called.
Well, you hear that, and just the tone of his voice, the way he sounds, all the body language, all the extras just sound totally different than it did right before the ALDS when you were pretty sure he wasn't going to pitch just based on how down he sounded. He did not sound that way yesterday. Sounds like he may be ready to go sooner rather than later. And if he does return, it just gives the Mariners yet another weapon. I don't know that we've seen the best of the Mariners yet. Harold Reynolds said as much yesterday.
They're not pitching count. That's why the on-base percentage is so high. They're going to walk him. Right. That's why Ohtani's still getting high on-base percentage, even though he's not hitting, because they're going to pitch around him. And so the key is those guys behind him. Julio's been hot. He's playing like the all-star that he is. And then Jorge's come alive. And so now you start to get Naylor get going. And when Suarez gets going, then they're really in trouble. The Mariners haven't even got it all going yet, and they're playing great baseball right now. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat them 4 out of 5 games.
Can't disagree with any of that. Blue Jays will have Shane Bieber tonight. He's been okay since returning from Tommy John. We'll see how deep into the game he can go, and if you get an opportunity to pick on that pen, you definitely want to do it. For all the weird start times and having to wait to see when the bigger markets will play, the Mariners sure put eyeballs on the TV. 8.7 million people watching that game on Friday night. Best ALDS audience for any game since 2011. NLCS starting to get away from the Brewers a little bit. They lose both games at home. They'll head to LA down 2-0. M's would sure love to match the Dodgers as well. You don't want to get caught having to use up the whole pitching staff if LA can just sit and set everything up.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, in a year where there's not a lot of dominant teams in the American League, the same seems to be true of the NFL and specifically the NFC. Seahawks find themselves moving back up in the power rankings. ESPN puts them at number 8 after their win in Jacksonville. Daniel Jeremiah goes even further.
I said this on the show yesterday. I honestly think it's a rematch of the game you guys saw the week before. Just in terms of who's playing the best, I think those two teams are playing the best right now.
Seattle and Tampa.
Yeah. That's just what I've watched on a weekly basis. The teams that impress me the most that, when you're watching them kind of jumps off the screen a little bit. And I say that knowing Philly's got time to figure out what's going on with them. We'll see Green Bay as they kind of go throughout the year, as they, do they take it up to another gear. Atlanta's playing great. There's some good options out there, but just in terms of the week to week stuff, what I've seen, I don't think I've seen better teams than those two.
Yeah, obviously talking about both the Seahawks and the Bucks. Extra day off today before the Monday night matchup at home against Houston. And, Seahawks just looking pretty darn good at this point in the season. That should be quite the party on Monday night, especially if the Mariners have already closed out their series.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Rough start and rough finish for the Kraken yesterday, but they actually played really well in between. They do get a point taking the Canadiens to overtime, but not a win. It's too bad. They had the lead with just a couple minutes left, took a penalty, and then the Canadiens scored just as the penalty expired. Just too bad. It was a winnable game, but gets away from them. They get 1 point. Goals for McCann, Yanni Newman, Jaden Schwartz, Jamie Alexiak. And they will now regather and head to Ottawa and be there tomorrow. So they're in Ontario as well. That is everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Yeah, it'll be a big Washington versus Ontario day tomorrow with the Ottawa Senators and, of course, the Toronto Blue Jays here in Seattle. All right. I know I got about 1 million text messages not taking Craig Carton too seriously. I know I'm not taking him that seriously, but it is pretty hilarious when you hear that sound and you're just like, oh my God. I might even play it for you again. It's just fun sound. We'll probably play it again at 7:32, but you want to hear it again just to kind of get yourself fired up for tonight? If this helps you at all, this was Craig Carton, former WFAN New York host.
Toronto suddenly forgot how to hit a baseball, which makes me think they were probably cheating against the New York Yankees. And we're stealing the Yankee signs. And I'll go to my grave believing that.
No credit to Seattle's pitcher?
Because the dude started for Seattle last night was a journeyman, no-name, their 4th or 5th best pitcher.
Yeah.
He was not one of their main guys. And Toronto, outside of the Springer leadoff home run, didn't hit the ball last night. And I'm saying to myself, no, wait a minute. Toronto can't hit the ball against this tool, but when Max Fried is on the mound, he couldn't get out of the 3rd inning against this offense, right?
Yeah.
Made me start thinking, maybe we have another Houston Astros scandal on our hands.
Which do you like better, calling him a journeyman or calling Bryce Miller a tool? That one was surprising. When this tool is on the mound. Like, oh, my God. That is, I know, we're probably giving him what he wants, a little extra attention for saying something, but it just, kind of rubs me the wrong way, man. That's not right.
It's ridiculous. Again, who doesn't like Bryce Miller?
I mean, nobody. I don't know. Opposing hitters. I mean, like, there's just no reason. And the one thing you're supposed to know about, all right, I get it. Not everybody knows about the Mariners lineup. It's sort of newly created and hasn't been that good until 2 months ago. But the one thing everybody knows that the Mariners have 5 pitchers that can go after you. If you're in the sports media world, and especially the baseball world, it's the only thing really being asked of Craig Carton. The only thing being asked of you is to know that the Mariners have a good starting pitching staff. That's it. You don't have to know anything else about the team. Now you kind of have to know about journeyman catcher Cal Raleigh. Also kind of a tool. Like, other than that, what are you supposed to know? That's it. Just know that they've got a good, deep starting rotation. That's it. That's all anybody asks of you. Journeyman nobody, Bryce Miller, that tool. Unbelievable. Thankfully, guys like Jeff Passan exist, cover the world of baseball the way it's supposed to be covered, and can speak on it with great intelligence, depth of knowledge, and information. You'll hear from Jeff next.
2 down. 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Well, it has been getting real cold at night. I'm sure some of us will get to experience it tonight when we're out at the ball game and it's, gets to be dark and the wind starts whipping and you're like, man, it is pretty chilly. But if it's too chilly in your house at night, especially as you're trying to sleep, it might be because you don't have enough insulation or what you have is just sort of, maybe you don't have any, maybe it's rotten, maybe it's not working anymore. It's why you call Crawl Pros and get them to come out and check out your attic, your crawl space, and see if the insulation you have is up to snuff. Because if it's not only are you cold, but you're spending a whole lot more money on heating bills and energy bills as well. It's why PSE offers a tremendous rebate. If you're a customer and your home was built before 1990, you could receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. So that's why you call Crawl Pros and do it now, because a lot of these rebates end at the end of the year, including federal incentives. Call Crawl Pros right now if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Go to crawlpros.com.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Dick's Sporting Goods is hosting a playoff pregame pep rally today at their Northgate location from 9 to 3. Pick out playoff merchandise and get game ready with a live DJ, free popcorn, and a face painting station. Pick up your official postseason merch at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Hey,
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every Quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at homecomfortalliance.com.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through October 19th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Yeah, it's a good question. Was it the dumbest challenge ever? I don't think so on what happened with Gino sitting on the edge of the dugout there. I thought it was actually a pretty worthwhile challenge. I wasn't sure which way they were going to rule that. Did you? I mean, just kind of watching it. So, I mean, it's a hit and an error. And he throws the ball away, and it bounces off Gino Suarez, who's, from my view, sitting in play. Right? I mean, he's sitting
and eating seeds like he would in his home in Venezuela in February.
It was hilarious.
I mean, chilling like a villain.
Yes. He's just kind of calmly sitting there, and rather than, jump out of the way, he just, kind of moves. The ball bounces off his back and then into the camera well. Obviously, if he hadn't been sitting there, it would have gone into the dugout, and it would have been out of play either way. And they got the call right. That's the way it should end. But I was curious if they would say, hey, you're in the field of play, man. You can't touch the ball if you're sitting there. I mean, that would have been, if they had made that call, totally legitimate. By the way, that's what ended up leading to the Cal intentional walk and then the Polanco 3-run home run. So it actually kind of factored into the game fairly significantly.
Did you hear John Schneider's explanation?
Yeah, he was just kind of like, I don't know, I just thought I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, and he also said,
he threw the guys under the bus.
Yes, it was. It wasn't communicated real well to me.
Shut up. Dude, he is a doofus. I don't like him, man. He's constantly making excuses, constantly blaming other people, saying dumb stuff, sticking his foot in his mouth. He should do my job. I do that stuff all the time. He'd be much better as a radio host than he would as the manager of the Blue Jays. I've never been particularly impressed with him. So, that, he just throws everybody under the bus.
Yeah.
Contrast that to the moment where the Mariners made their challenge a couple weeks ago with the foot on the grass deal at second base.
Mm-hmm.
What a completely different organizational culture that is.
Yeah, and right now you've absolutely owned them and gotten the most of it. I know we're waiting on Passan here for just a second. Can I just also say, paying on one thing off from Joe Davis, who it just kind of reinforced what we heard from Adam Wainwright, what we heard from Adam Amin, what we heard from AJ Przinsky, and what you hear from everybody that comes in an experiences this ball club. They've now all said the same thing. Cal Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the 60 home run Cal Raleigh. It is the C of that kind of captainship that you can appreciate it from afar, Salk, but you get close to it and it was your mind.
All right, well, let's get to Jeff Passan here, who joins us, I believe, on video. Oh, there he is, for everybody watching on YouTube this morning. Thank you for being with us. There's Jeff Passan from Hotel Room. Where are you today?
Hotel room, yes. Heading from Toronto right now to Los Angeles, actually. I feel like I've done enough at this point to acknowledge that I am not the plague,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just cutting while I'm ahead. Like,
probably good.
Yeah, like,
It's probably good.
I was talking with Cal about that yesterday. I was like, everyone in Seattle thinks that like I'm a pox on your team. And the one, like, remember during the winning streak, the one game that I went to is the game that they lost.
Yeah, in Kansas City. We all know.
Like-
Everybody knows. Every Mariner fan knows.
Believe me, Jeff, we know. We know the kind of problems you cause. Hey, we got a lot to talk about today, obviously, with where the Mariners are at. But you got to first go back to Friday night. How special was that game, was that win on Friday night over Detroit?
Just so awesome. It's like I feel like every city has those defining games for the franchises they root for, and it reminded me a lot actually of like the wild card walk off for Kansas City against Oakland, which still, like, to this day, 10 years later, I look back on that game, and people in Kansas City do, and just the fondness with which you remember it. This is going to be right up there with Edgar's walk-off double. It's we're gonna see Jorge Polanco taking that swing and sending the Mariners past Detroit and into the ALCS, and it's even better knowing what came next, right? Now, I don't want to get too far ahead here, but what the Mariners did in the immediate aftermath of that is go on the road against the number one seed in the American League and absolutely destroy them for 2 days. And the first day, it was like more of a mental destruction. The second game was just talent-wise. They made them look like a JV team. The Mariners looked like the big bad boys that we've always known that they can.
So if we had Jeff Passan thought bubbles popping out of your head on Friday night over those 5+ hours, what would some of those bubbles have read?
I believe some of those bubbles turned into text, did they not?
Yeah, I got at least one of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jeff was proven right. Jeff did not want to take Kirby out of the game in that moment, and Kerry Carpenter rewarded Jeff with a 2-run home run off of Gabe Spire. Yeah, I didn't mind the move. I probably, in retrospect, the move was probably just to intentionally walk him and move on at that point because he's really the only guy that could beat you. But after that, God, I really felt like Dan managed such a good game, and all the other decisions he made versus AJ. I think AJ Hinch screwed that game up in the 15th with the way he managed it. Not to say that they wouldn't have lost either way, but you got to get 2 outs with 1 base open, and you've your choice of Julio, Polanco, and Gino. You got to pitch to Julio and Gino, and you can't pitch to Polanco there.
I mean, can you pitch to Julio right now either, though?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone who's watched every game this season would tell you, as much as Julio is awesome, that you'd rather, if you're the other team, take your chances and try to get him to swing and miss. And then if he walks, so be it. Then you're in the same position anyway. But you got to at least try to get him to swing and miss because he's got more swing and miss in his game.
I think that's very reasonable, and Jorge Polanco doesn't. Like, it's remarkable what he's done this postseason. And it's the sort of thing on which World Series runs are built. It's great to have Cal Raleigh performing like he has. And after all these years that you can rely on the starting pitching that the Mariners have. But you need those other contributors. You need someone to have like an Eddie Rosario series. And right now that's Jorge Polanco, Eddie Rosario's teammate. For a while with the Minnesota Twins, actually. A guy who, when he came here last year to Seattle, there were real expectations that he was going to be the bat that they needed, and he was not. He was also not healthy. And so for the Mariners to go out, bring him back this winter, have him be, they started calling him George Bonds in April because that's what he was hitting like. And to have that version of Polo show back up in October. And I don't know that he's leading this team. That's Cal Raleigh now and forever. But he's that second banana. He's that guy who I mean, you don't see many second basemen hitting cleanup. You don't see many second basemen coming through in the clutch the way that he has. And just knowing that there's someone who has that slow heartbeat and in big moments is not going to cower or turtle, but step up and say, I want to own this. What a luxury for the Mariners to have.
Jeffrey, you've been around these World Series journeys for lots of different teams over your years of covering baseball. Mike and I would sit with Coach Carroll, and he would use a word a little bit more frequently than I think other coaches do or managers do, and that word was feel. You can just feel it. I'm not feeling the guys. I'm not feeling. He would use that word quite frequently. As you've been around these World Series teams, what do they feel like, and can you compare and contrast the Mariners to those teams?
I think you feel only as good as your previous day's result, Brock. And as great as the Mariners feel right now, they understand that momentum in series can turn on one George Kirby pitch in 24 hours. And I think the Mariners, the one thing that they have to do right now is protect against looking ahead. The Toronto Blue Jays, despite what they showed over the first 2 games of the series, are a very capable team. They beat the New York Yankees, who are also a very capable team. They had the best record in the American League because they are a very capable team. And yes, this is not the best version of them that we're seeing right now. Bo Bichette's not there. The Anthony Santander missed yesterday's game. Like, they've had some injuries. And more than that, though, I think the Mariners have exposed weaknesses. This bullpen that had been good against the Yankees, the Mariners have just been absolutely crushing it. And, John Schneider was looking for anything yesterday, trying to bring guys in. And, Louis Varland comes in after Trey Savage's start and strikes out Julio, and then Polanco steps to the plate and he gives him it was not a good pitch by any means. It was low. It was sort of like on that line that would start the outer third of the plate. But it was 98 miles an hour. So it wasn't like an obvious middle horrendous pitch. And Polanco is just so locked in right now that those are the mistakes that you can't make. Those are the pitches you can't groove. And it goes back, I think, to Gabe Spire and Kerry Carpenter. This time of year, one mistake can end your season, can change your season, can turn around a series. And it's what makes October baseball so great, guys. Like, every single pitch, you're just waiting for the other team to do what you are desperately hoping the team you root for won't.
It's really funny getting a bunch of text messages from people seeing Jeff Passan for the first time. Guys, he's on TV like all the time on ESPN. These are like, oh, longtime listener, always heard Jeff's voice, never seen his face. I mean, he's on ESPN a lot. That's why we get Jeff on this show. Anyway, all right, well, people think you're much younger than you sound.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
You have a very youthful look. Very youthful look.
And kind of an old voice.
I appreciate that. I think over time,
such a jerk.
Me?
No, I'm just, it's okay.
I wasn't being a jerk. I'm just saying what the people said. They think your voice is old.
What is an old voice?
I think it's that you use words that most people don't understand, and so they just assume you're old and wise. You're like Gandalf or something.
Yeah,
that's gotta be it.
I think it's a whiskey and cigarettes.
Those two, yeah. Hey,
I was out at a bar in Toronto last night until 3:00 in the morning.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, but this is an important caveat. It's called the Imperial Pub. It is closing on November 15th. After 81 years in the same family. And so think about this, bar nights with your friends are always great because you always hope that you can go out and replicate it another night, right? You always hope you can go back to that same place and have another memorable night. This place, unless the Blue Jays win, I'm never going to go back to again. And so
what friends are you out with? When you're going out after an ALCS game, who are you heading out with?
It was Jake Mintz from Yahoo, Jorge Castillo, my colleague, Disha Tosar, who works for Fox, and Danny Wexelman, who works for MLB Network Radio.
All right. So as you guys are talking, and I'm sure you end up talking baseball throughout, does any part of you kind of talk through what this Mariner pitching staff has done here without Brian Wu and really with only 4 relievers in the pen? Is it sustainable to go with essentially an 8-man pitching staff for the entirety of the postseason?
Yes. We've seen it happen before. We've seen the Astros do it when they were really just pitching with starters. You remember Charlie Morton and Lance McCullers coming in relief roles. We've seen it with the Nationals a few years ago. Like their bullpen, they had like 3-4 relievers that they could rely on. It's nice to have a deep pitching staff the way that like the Brewers do, but I think if you look in the National League, the Dodgers are ahead 1-0 right now, and they may have even fewer pitchers that they trust than the Mariners do. And I think, don't you think it goes a little bit beyond that? Are we still on the don't trust Carlos Vargas train?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Until Cal looks like he trusts Carlos Vargas, I think the rest of us are all going to be on that. I don't know if I trust Carlos Vargas train. But I'll tell you who's moved from the, last year we called him the white flag. And this year, Edward Bizardo might be.
Yeah.
He might be the secret weapon that is, other than the one bad inning, he's gone 6 2/3, Jeff, hasn't allowed a run, a couple of hits, 1 walk. And it's crazy because he doesn't miss bats. And so I found myself thinking about what a good matchup he is against Toronto, because they don't swing and miss that much. So the Castillos, the Bizardos, maybe even Kirby, I would think those guys should have a tremendous amount of success against a team like Toronto.
Bizardo's sinker is really good, man. And that's the thing. When you have all these Mariners pitchers have at least one outlier pitch. And it's just fun to see the strategizing that's going on right now. I think to me, the thing, maybe I'm not going to remember the most, but one of the things that I'm going to look back at the 15-inning game and always remember is the game that Cal Raleigh called. Cal Raleigh judges himself based on not the number of home runs he hits, and not the home run derby titles or the all-star selections or the MVPs. He judges himself as a catcher and as a baseball player on how he calls games. Like that to him is the highest level of what he can do. And the game he called that day, it was so good that it had the announcers just consistently confused. Like, you can't throw this many sliders. And Cal was just like, hold my beer. Of course you can. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And it took the Mariners 4 games to get there. I don't think going into that game, they were planning on throwing that many sliders. It was a point of emphasis from the team in its preparation. But I think Cal Raleigh went and took it to an extreme even they weren't expecting. And it was incredibly effective just because it's not something you ever see.
Yeah.
Like, there's more spin in baseball now than there's ever been before. But to that extent, amazing job by him.
Well, and maybe even especially after, you see Munoz throwing 96 as opposed to 98, 99.
Yeah,
you might want to throw a few more of those sliders. The other part of that for Cal, you say calling the game, and obviously that goes to the pitches that he's calling. I don't pretend to understand enough about pitch sequencing to have any idea what they're doing and to know what's good and what's not. But what does always jump out to not just me, but I think a lot of people around Seattle, is the touch Cal has in when to come out to the mound, what to say to the guys, whether it was Logan on Friday night, and I found myself thinking about these 2 best friends just standing on the mound together in the middle of all of that insanity and how cool that must be, to Bryce Miller in game 1, where his visit seemed to change everything. He just seems to have a really amazing touch. Is that common throughout the game?
I wouldn't say it's common. I would say it's part of what makes him special. Brock, you talked about feel earlier. That's feelings, right? Like how you're feeling about certain things. Like, the term feel in baseball means a sense of the state of affairs. So when you walk into a room, if you have feel, like you know how to converse with people, you know how to take the temperature of the room. Cal Raleigh has unbelievable baseball feel, and he just knows the right time to do things. I think it's like a very coach of a son thing, but I think it also speaks to his curiosity and his willingness to go out and learn what the most effective way to do something is. He could very easily sit there and say, I'm a big league catcher. I've been so for a half decade. I'm decorated. And you know what? I'm going to stop evolving because me right now is pretty damn good. But the reason that he's as good as he is because he has actively chosen to evolve to this place where something like that, Mike, matters. Like, it does matter, and it's impossible to measure. And we can never sit there and say, hey, remember that time that Cal went to the mound and everything just blew up afterward because he said the wrong thing? I'm sure that has happened before. But in these moments that really matter right now, it seems like he's got this magic touch. And it's the sort of thing that goes a really, really long way, I think, to making a pitching staff comfortable. When you have comfortable pitching staff with their catcher, they're just going to have that trust. And when you have that trust, you can have more conviction in the pitches that you're throwing.
Give me 2 or 3 of the biggest keys, Jeffrey, for the Mariners to close this thing out and get 2 more wins and get to the first World Series ever.
I think they need to keep throwing strikes. I think their inveterate strike throwing has been the sort of thing that throws off a team like Toronto that has pretty good plate discipline and that has bat to ball. When you get ahead, you put them into a defensive position. And that's what I think Mariners pitchers have done throughout this series. And it's why it was so impressive what Bryce Miller did. Bryce Miller could have cowered after that first inning. Batted balls of 109, 105, and 103. I turned to Jorge Castillo, who I was sitting next to in the press box, and said, hey, this is not good. He's not going to last. And then he goes and throws 5 of the best innings I've seen this postseason. So throwing strikes, absolutely key number 1. And I think number 2, keep hitting home runs. Like, you go and look at the record of teams in the postseason, and the teams that hit more home runs than the other teams are playing like 850 ball. And I'm not saying that if you hit more home runs, you're going to win, but the two tend to be extremely strongly correlated, if not causative. And I know those are simple things, Brock, but when you're up 2-0, don't overcomplicate things.
I'm going to say this, like Passan came on earlier this year, not after a 3 a.m. night.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? How many of these do I do a year? 24. I got to have a 24th.
Yeah.
Right? I got to have an appearance that's not my best.
Today has not been that at all.
I mean, after a 3 a.m. night, this may be.
Well, and we've got some questions about that. 206 saying, all right, seeing Jeff and I'm tripping out. This cannot be the person I've been listening to for years. I don't know if I can trust this youngster's insights anymore. Others noting that you did call Cal the coach of a son, as opposed to the son of a coach, which is funny. One person wondered if it's Apollo. And then the text that I think actually I wanted to ask you about is the one that says, were they all out until 3 because Jeff had to explain to everyone else who the Mariners are? And I will say that, watching some of the broadcasts, specifically some of the pregame shows, it does make me wonder if some of the national media, not talking about you, have ever seen this team play. I mean, it really does. Yeah, that was Jeff Passan, who joined us yesterday. If you want to hear the very end of that, you can. You can always find it on the podcast page. Jeff joins us every Tuesday at 8:30. Speaking of pregame shows, you can join Bob and Dave and Ryan Roland Smith from Victory Hall today, across the street from T-Mobile Park. 2 to 4 o'clock, they're going to get you set for Game 3 of the ALCS. If you're not going to the game, find the show on YouTube or the Seattle Sports app, and you can listen to the game that way as well. All right, Maura wrote a word. Really, I guess it's 2 words, but I'm putting them together for the sake of convenience. Last night in her email to us that, to me, is exactly the question for tonight, tomorrow, and the future. It's next on Brock and Salk.
2 down, 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
812's Steve Rabel here for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. For men 40 and older, a simple PSA blood test can help intercept prostate cancer early. You can get the simple test before the Crucial Catch game October 20th at Ticketmaster Tailgate.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
At Cressy Door, we have the perfect garage door for you. Come visit our brand new garage door and fireplace showroom and let our experts help you find the perfect garage door. Cressy Door.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
At Bible Law Group, we understand when you've got legal problems so biblical, not even an Etsy witch can turn your court case around. With James Bible and his team by your side, don't panic when your ark is lost in divorce or when a whale swallows your defense attorney. At Bible Law Group, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. When your legal problems hit biblical proportions, contact Bible Law Group and let our talented team of lawyers get to work, no matter the problem. Find us at BibleLawGroup.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at MBAHealthTrust.com. That's MBAHealthTrust.com.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes!
Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Out here, it's football season, where nothing beats backyard grilling, gathering around the fire pit, and cheering on your favorite team with friends. The yard is mowed, The lights are strung and the grill is warming up. Whether you need to fill up your propane, get a new grill, or even a generator, out here, it's game day. And we're ready for it. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Baseball's postseason is here. Seattle Sports playoff coverage is presented by Honey Bucket, 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cat there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Brock, as you know, you and I are great geniuses, and the conversation between the two of us saying smart things on a day-to-day basis is really just a product of both of our incredible genius, and nobody else does anything to help, and it's just the two of us, and we're brilliant, right? Obviously. But every once in a while, we get a little help from somebody else, and I obviously jest because more helps a ton. So does Lyle, and actually so does everybody else out there, and we really do appreciate all the content you guys help us with the text line, phone calls, all of it. I was saying, Brock, earlier, we had 11 and 12,000 views live on YouTube the last couple days. That's just insane. I cannot believe how many of you are finding the show in new ways, different ways, in addition to on 710 or 97.3 HD2 or, the podcast or the app, all of it. But, that number of people on YouTube the last couple days kind of blows my mind. So thank you, seriously, to everybody out there. And yes, I did get a haircut. Thank you, Maura, for noticing, because there's so many people watching. I don't want to look like a schlub.
Yeah. And you do look much younger. It's amazing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You get a haircut and it takes 2 to 3 years.
It's because I have bad hair. I have awful hair. And so if I could just take it off, the better. Just as little of it as possible.
But if you go bald, then you probably age by 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, I don't need that, but I just want it, less. Less is more in this case.
Right,
anyway, Maura used a word last night as she sent us an email. 2 words, really, that I think are the perfect conversation for today. This is what Maura wrote. I feel like this is such a different position for the M's to be in. They're usually the gritty, resilient bunch, but now they find themselves up 2-0 after a pair of pretty comfortable wins. Now they get to go home where they've been the best team in baseball since the trade deadline. Can they turn that gritty resilience into killer instinct and pull off the sweep? I love those 2 words, that phrase, killer instinct. It is one of the top things missing in sports today. I don't know how many times we've talked about it, Brock. Football and basketball more probably than any other sport. But how many times have we talked about the challenges with finding that killer instinct? It's what has made Scotty Scheffler as good as he's been over the last couple of years, because he's got it. He doesn't get tight when he has a lead. He doesn't start thinking ahead. He doesn't let anyone else back in. He just keeps the foot on the gas and goes for the jugular and wins. And there are just so many games that we watch where having a lead brings out the worst in players, brings out the worst in teams, whereas being behind does seem to free them up to just go out and play. And so, a 2-0 lead, coming back home, all the momentum in the world on your side, and a World Series berth just 2 wins away. Yeah, I can understand more. I think it's a perfect description of what they need is a little killer instinct.
Is it circling back to a conversation of the last decade or so of being able to handle prosperity? Is it actually having that ability to step on somebody and really that killer instinct? Or is it being who you are no matter how much praise and applause is coming? Or are they 2 of the same things? Is that part of having a killer instinct? Is that, hey, it doesn't matter what the outside noise is. It doesn't matter what prosperity I have. I'm going to go after this and I'm going to go after that. I don't care how much money's in my pocket. I don't care how much fame and attention. I'm going to just continue to go relentlessly at them.
Yeah.
Is it kind of a
I think you ask a good question.
To a killer instinct?
I think you ask a good question, but I think unfortunately my answer to it is it could be any of those things. I mean, it's probably different in every scenario, but whatever it is you need to do to get over those final
Julio
humps.
has a killer instinct.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
I think with baseball, it's so unique.
We're not talking about a person in this case. We're talking about a team.
Yes.
Sometimes in football, I think what we refer to is not getting conservative, not, just trying to play to run the clock out, which obviously you can't do in
the
baseball.
Other team's will.
Yeah.
Searching out their quit gene and getting to the other team's quit gene.
So here's an example. I thought when the Seahawks threw the end of game dagger to AJ Barner on Sunday, that was killer instinct. I guess that's how I would define it. Yeah. They went for the kill shot there rather than just playing, a lot of prevent defense and what I sometimes call prevent offense. They're like, play action. Everybody thinks we're doing this. Let's just ice this game. Killer instinct. See you later.
By the way, do you know how good? I just happened to see it last night on the All 22. Someone tweeted it out. Do you know how good that was? They got in the same formation they've been running in. Mm-hmm. They did a fake alert. It's like a pitcher nodding or shaking somebody off. It was a total fake alert. Once they rotated to single safety, it was like the fake alert call that they used. So the defense is like, well, they're certainly running. It was masterclass of deception.
Cool.
And scripting and sequencing so well. And you're right. That was an obvious kill shot. How will we see this?
I think in baseball it's a totally different thing because it's not like you have that moment where you're like, I'm going to make a different call here to try to score a run. Like, no, baseball, you just go out and play the game.
It's not like you turn in the corner 120 meters into Mora and said, Mora, I'm sorry. I'm going to put you in the dust right now. I'm going to shift to a gear you don't got, girl. I'm going to win this 200. And then, boom!
Well, let's hope it's not like that because that will leave the Mariners lying by the wayside.
You had a killer instinct. You hopped on one leg. You crawled your way. You were a bloody mess by the time you finished that.
Are you quite done? For whatever reason, I don't get the sense that handling prosperity, needing a killer instinct will be a problem for this group. I think they're even keeled enough. But Maura, I think you ask a good question. We've seen how they handle adversity. This is now handling almost the most amount of success you can. And, I think you're up to nothing and heading home.
It's the most in the history of 50 years of this franchise.
Sure.
To be up actually 2-0 at this stage.
I guess I'm saying there could be more to come is all I meant. I mean, give it another week or two, Brock, and you could be talking about an even more advantageous situation. Yeah. And the fact that we're even talking about it, I think, is part of the challenge. We can talk about it, but they've got to stay grounded. They've got to stay focused on what they're doing right now. Pressure is obviously a big part of baseball. It really is. And for whatever reason, I would be surprised if this team feels a ton of it. They haven't been the favorite, even if they've clearly outplayed Toronto and they've got a better roster. And we'll dig into that a little bit more here in about 20, 25 minutes. But I just don't get the sense this is a group that's going to feel that level of pressure.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest keys in this is and it's a cool thing about a baseball season, and it's so long. It is such an unbelievable marathon. And then when the marathon ends, there's now this sprint afterwards, right? Those marathoners, you see them finish, they're done, especially half marathoners in Seattle like Salk did. They wrapped them in foil. Heather handed him a popsicle.
Are you done? What is with this today?
Can you imagine trying to sprint? Can you imagine trying to sprint like this after your half marathon? It doesn't happen. But I think what I've learned about this team, Salk, as much as any Mariner team that we have covered, there have been others close, but this team, you want to do it collectively as a group and have a killer instinct. Care more about the buddy in front of you and the buddy behind you than yourself. Mm-hmm. And this team's got so much of that. It is not a bunch of taxis. It's not a bunch of independent contractors. It's not a bunch of selfish dudes that are just looking for their own numbers and their own glory and their own stats. It just isn't. And it's led by the guy that hits second in the lineup that could care less about any of that. So when your superstars like that, and Julio is like that, everybody is like that.
Yeah,
and I think that really helps in these moments because they don't make it about, I got to deliver. I got to do what's for me.
Right.
I got to get my, it's about me. No, it's not. It's about we. And this is the personification of the big time.
You and I would definitely go in totally different directions there. Not that I disagree with you, but I don't know if that's the thing that allows them to not feel it. To me, it's just about confidence. Just they really believe in who they are, believe in themselves, believe they're a good team. Look around the locker room, the clubhouse, and say, yeah, we're good. We got a deeper lineup. We got a better team. We got good pitching. I
don't have to put all this pressure on myself.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so maybe they're kind of going in the same direction. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. To me, that word is confidence. When you're as confident as this team is and should be right now, hopefully the ability to go out there and have that killer instinct is easy.
Why can't I bring up your killer instinct? Why can't I do that? I'm not making fun of you. You had a killer instinct.
Are you done?
No.
Why does this have to? Well, you know
what? I'm not even being mean. I'm celebrating.
Don't make me talk.
The lesson is you did. Once you turned the corner, you really kicked it into
did.
high gear, and I knew I was beat. But
That's
then
right.
you started gloating too early. And that was really when you turned around and tried to rub it in my face.
Mm-hmm.
That was when you pulled your. So just the Mariners just can't get too far ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what happens to the pride becomes for the fall.
Does it?
Nearly knocks
Pride
you on your
cometh
face,
before the
Salk.
hamstring pull. We'll be right back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know. And then, Brock, if you're worried about pride, don't worry. I've got a whole bunch of reasons why you shouldn't be too concerned. We got some great sound to play today. We got Joel Klatt coming up at 8:30. We've got Alex Rodriguez at 9:30 this morning. Whole bunch of reasons to stick around throughout the morning. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Hawks Live. Presented by the Dining District at the Bellevue Collection. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Live from Bellevue Square Center Court. Come on by and join hosts Michael Bumpus and Paul Moyer and a different Seahawks player every week.
This should be fun.
Hawks Live. Thursday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. Exclusively on the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Oh, the fall is so much fun. Football is in the air. How about playoff baseball and a playoff baseball run like we have never seen? And how about you resetting your workouts on new stuff? And Top Fitness got some great deals going on right now. I've told you all for decades, really, that nothing is better than working out in your home gym, especially as the weather turns and the rain and going to and from and all that mess. And from flooring to everything that goes in a home gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, Top Fitness, they have got it all. They represent the very best brands available, like Washington's Woodinville's own Precor, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with many others. You give Top Fitness your room dimensions, and they'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing. And mention you heard it from me, and another $100 comes off any new treadmill or home gym. No secret why everyone from personal trainers to pro athletes love Top Fitness. Locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Do you need a new roof? Then visit 3treeroofing.com to get $500 off your roofing project by scheduling a free estimate. 3Tree Roofing's certified team builds a custom plan for your home using top-tier materials with industry-leading warranties. All of their install crews are factory certified to ensure that your roof can handle any weather Seattle can throw our way. Don't wait until leaks turn into expensive damage this rainy season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today and secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
ALCS action returning to Seattle tonight, Brock, for the first time in 24 years. Game 3, 5:08 p.m. George Kirby on the bump against Shane Bieber. Puts George on regular rest once again, allows Luis Castillo the extra day. He's scheduled to go tomorrow. And it does mean also they don't need to throw Brian Wu at all if they don't need to get to Game 5 here in the series. So we'll see what that looks like. In general, it's a team that is operating with a lot of confidence right now, specifically in their bullpen, where they've been dynamite.
Down the stretch especially has been a big strength of ours, has been the bullpen. And I think the bullpen and actually the starters work very well together. And the way it has worked out has gone, fairly smoothly. And you get, like we've said before, you trust all of our guys. And whenever you give them the ball, they're going to do the job. And yesterday was no exception. Couple of guys giving us a couple of innings was huge, and allowing the offense to kind of break it open a little bit, and so it was a good bullpen series so far, and looking for that to continue as we go forward.
170th game, right? 162, 5 versus Detroit. This is the third 170th game. I think also remarkably healthy. I mean, we'll see when Wu comes back. We know that, some of the guys in the bullpen, I'm sure their arms are hanging. It's been a lot of appearances, but by and large, I mean, Dan played a lot of these guys over the course of the season, and it's that age-old, callousing them, building them up, or can they sustain? Are they going to wear down? I love Shannon's point yesterday. It's kind of echoed what I said, oh, man, this long road trip to Toronto, and we're exhausted, and we're tired. What? Off day in between?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Have you seen some of the trips we've been on this year? 10 games in 10 days,
it
3
is
different.
Pretty hilarious.
Yeah, this
now,
is
all that being said, the one guy who they were a little worried about injury-wise over the course of the year, and because of it, they gave him a lot of days off. They allowed him to DH quite a bit. It was Jorge Polanco, and that's paying dividends right now as well.
It's remarkable what he's done this postseason, and it's the sort of thing on which World Series runs are built. it's great to have Cal Raleigh performing like he has. And after all these years that you can rely on the starting pitching that the Mariners have. But you need those other contributors. You need someone to have like an Eddie Rosario series. And right now that's Jorge Polanco, Eddie Rosario's teammate. For a while with the Minnesota Twins.
That, of course, being Jeff Passan. Let's see. All the weird start times, Brock. The Mariners always have to wait to see where the Yankees and everybody else are going to play. And yet, they put a lot of eyeballs on TV. 8.7 million people watching on Friday night. Best ALDS audience since 2011. That's pretty incredible. NLCS kind of starting to get away from the Brewers. They lose both games at home. They'll now head to L.A. down to nothing. So do you realize, if both, I know this is a long way away, but if both teams were to sweep, the ALCS would end Thursday, tomorrow, and the NLCS would end Friday. The World Series wouldn't start until the following Friday.
What?
Isn't that bizarre?
What? Yeah.
You guys
what
are
we going to do?
You guys are
really
what are we
going to do?
You guys are really sounding like boomers with this. This is always how the schedule works.
Lyle, we're sounding like two radio hosts who are going to have to sit here and for 7 days wait for the team to play again? Absurd.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, not a lot of dominant teams in the NFL this year, Brock, and the Seahawks now find themselves moving back up well into the top 10 of the power rankings. In fact, ESPN has them at number 8 after their win in Jacksonville, somewhat decisive. Daniel Jeremiah went even farther than that. We asked him who the best teams in the NFC were, and his answer included the Seahawks.
I said this on the show yesterday. I honestly think it's a rematch of the game you guys saw the week before. Just in terms of who's playing the best, I think those two teams are playing the best right now.
Seattle and Tampa.
Yeah. That's just what I've watched on a weekly basis. The teams that impress me the most that, when you're watching them kind of jumps off the screen a little bit. And I say that knowing Philly's got time to figure out what's going on with them. We'll see Green Bay as they kind of go throughout the year, as they, do they take it up to another gear. Atlanta's playing great. There's some good options out there, but just in terms of the week to week stuff, what I've seen, I don't think I've seen better teams than those two.
Yeah, they're the only one-loss team. Well, I guess Green Bay's 3-1-1, but Tampa's 5-1. Everybody else basically 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like run differential or scoring differential, do you like that at all in football?
I do.
I think it gives you a little
over the course
picture.
of a year, 6 games in, I don't know yet, but it's a good idea.
Yep. Well, you're tied with Detroit for the best scoring differential in the NFC, only behind Indianapolis and all the NFL. So it's not to the halfway mark yet, and we've got a lot of football to play, but I think and DJ looks at the line of scrimmage and looks at what your defense is doing and looks at the way your quarterback is playing. Tell me how many different teams over the last 10 or 15 years in the NFL with a dominant front four and a high-achieving quarterback. You win a lot of games, and you put yourself in these kind of conversations.
Yeah, they have both of those things right now. So extra day off, Monday night matchup, of course, at home against Houston. Just heads up, it's a 7 p.m. Monday night start, not your normal 5 o'clock. It's going to be a 7 o'clock start as it's one of those double Monday night games.
Double headers.
I know. Yeah, isn't it dumb?
Dumb.
Everything is dumb today.
Dumb.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Wait till I play you some of this sound at 7:30. Kraken, rough start and a rough finish yesterday, Brock, but they played really well in between. They do get a point by taking the Canadians to overtime, but they don't get the win. Too bad. They had a lead with just a couple minutes left. Canadians scored right as the power play was ending. Goals for McCann, Yanni Newman, your guy, Jaden Schwartz, Brock. Alexiak had a goal, so they'll head off to Ottawa tomorrow. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. I guess they weren't going to go 82-0, but still would have been nice to get that win yesterday. They were in position to do it. Looked a little tired in the first period, and then kind of came alive. And I don't know, the team's playing better. I don't know what it means yet. It's really, really early, but they are playing better than anything we've seen here in the last couple of seasons. So hopefully that's indicative.
So with the A-Rod, we don't have any trash takes. The trash master can't put your hat on. But you got some trashy, dumb takes for me?
Well, I do have one thing that I played earlier. It's pretty dumb, yeah. But I got to lead into it. Because I guess what I would tell you, Brock, is the Mariners are better than the Blue Jays. I've said that quite a bit. A lot of people know it. And then there's Craig Carton. So that's all coming up next on Brock and Salk.
2 down, 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
All right, where are you watching? What's your plans here for the next couple of days? Let me recommend Snoqualmie Casino. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Got everything, really. I mean, whether you're talking about the beautiful pool, whether you're talking about the expanded non-gaming floor, but really the next few days, how about the brand new sports bar? Indoor, outdoor, 66 TVs, great food, and all the fun that comes from watching sports at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can go to snocasino.com for more. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro-loyalty for details. Subject to change.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
The LJ way is.
You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. 2 friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there, and it was cool because you got to take them through and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with, and so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Your time is money, so why are you wasting it stuck in I-5 gridlock, TSA slowdowns, and SeaTac crowds? Isn't it time to travel smarter? Seaport Airlines offers high-frequency commuter shuttle service from Seattle's Boeing Field to Portland. Park for free next to our terminals. Check in 20 minutes before your departure. Get there faster without the hassles. Seaport Airlines. It's about time. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
This is where you hear your AL West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More. Fast internet speed.
He's got the gigs to go big, bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service and speed in select locations only.
The playoffs are here, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are bringing the heat with a rotation that's built to win. The Gas RAV4, built for every inning of Northwest life. Or go versatile with the hybrid RAV4. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and always clutch. And now, stepping up, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra. Redesigned, powerful, and built for big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com and get your championship ride.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, so the Mariners are better than the Blue Jays. I've been saying that for a while. I think the Mariners are the class of the American League. I've said that since the trade deadline, August 1st. I think they have the best roster in the American League, and then you kind of take it from there. And anybody who says, Salk, you're jinxing the Mariners, well, I've been saying it for 2.5 months. I'm not going to stop saying it now. I've been saying it all along. I think they have the best roster in the American League, and I think the rest of baseball, the rest of America, is starting to learn about that. And, like, here's a couple of examples. Here is Dan, and this is going to get to something which I think you'll find very entertaining. But here is Dan Plesac, former reliever, who's on MLB Network, and he was a little surprised by just how good the Mariners are.
All the credit in the world, to me, goes to the Seattle Mariners. Right now, they are by far a better team than the Toronto Blue Jays. I didn't see this coming. They were stretched to the limit against the Tigers. I thought the Blue Jays were rested. They had their ace in Gosman going in Game 1. But you know what the Mariners have done? Their backs have been against the wall. They're bowing their neck. They're sticking their chest out.
Just a better team. He didn't expect it, right? Didn't think that was going to be the case. Dan Plesac watching the Mariners open his eyes. By the way, in Toronto, they're experiencing the same thing. They probably didn't know a ton about the Mariners. Jeff Passan telling us yesterday that this isn't the only place he does a weekly radio hit. In fact, one of the other 2 spots is in, of course, Toronto. And here's what they're saying.
They're desolate right now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because there was so much anticipation and expectation coming into this series. And as bad as you guys in Seattle have had it for the better part of a half century, the Blue Jays haven't won in 30-something years either. Haven't made it back to the World Series. And not trying to minimize by any means the suffering of Seattle sports fans. I've been down that road. Didn't go great. But Toronto's had it pretty bad too. And they've had that whole feel of this is a team of destiny thing going on as well. So to get punched in the mouth like this, it has not been an enjoyable experience.
Okay, so Toronto radio, Brock, starting to feel it because apparently they've had it so hard in Toronto. They haven't won since the Joe Carter teams. Oh, the poor Blue Jays and their fans. I mean, like, the real problem they have is obviously their hockey team, which can never win and will never win. But you can hear it even from the Blue Jays fans, Brock, who some of which were leaving early and caught on camera by CBC News in Game 2.
Tough night for Blue Jays fans. And, you look behind me, we're starting to see them trickle out. Here's a Blue Jay fan who's already left. You said, I'm going to go walk the dogs.
Yeah, I am actually going to walk my dogs, but that's not why I'm leaving. I'm leaving because actually Seattle's a better team. We don't have a prayer.
Wow, that's a Blue Jay fan who is, you're a season ticket holder too.
Yeah, season tickets, pay a fortune. We belong to the club. And I'll keep doing that because I believe in the Blue Jays.
But you don't believe in them this season.
Not anymore.
You're giving up.
It's not their year. I don't know what happened, but they have frozen solid.
If Lyle had an older Canadian sister, it's over. It's over.
OVA, OVA. Yeah, so there's some folks giving up in Toronto. But again, I think what's interesting from
How old was that woman, Maura? Did you see video of that, or was that only sound?
Oh, yeah, she's an interesting... she's definitely an older lady, yeah.
Do you think she knows the AFC Championship T-shirt lady? Do you think they're friends?
Maybe.
Maybe cousins. One's in Toronto, one's in Medford. Got our AFC Championship T-shirts. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they know each other. Maybe they're not. But so she's given up. The Blue Jays radio is in shambles. MLB Network is just discovering that the Mariners exist. So you can kind of feel everything going on. But everyone recognizing that the Mariners are good and they're better than the Blue Jays, except for Craig Carton. Now, how much do you know about Craig Carton? You know much about him?
Was he Boomer's old co-host?
Yes.
Got himself in a little trouble.
I mean, not just trouble, went to prison, like legitimate prison over this whole gambling thing. Mm-hmm. And as I said at 6, like, I don't mean to make light of it, but maybe he should go back to it just because, it would give you a little bit more knowledge of the world outside of
the prison.
Well, no, to the gambling, just because it would give you more knowledge of what's going on in sports, not just in the tri-state region. But this, I got to play it again. I've played it twice already this morning, Brock. This is Craig Carton, who's got quite the conspiracy theory about why the Yankees lost. And it's something you could only hear from New York.
Toronto suddenly forgot how to hit a baseball, which makes me think they were probably cheating against the New York Yankees.
Cheating.
And we're stealing the Yankee signs.
Well,
and I'll go to my grave believing that.
No credit to Seattle's pitcher?
No, because the dude who started for Seattle last night was a journeyman, no-name, their 4th or 5th best pitcher.
Yeah.
He was not one of their main guys. And Toronto, outside of the Springer leadoff home run, didn't hit the ball last night. And I'm saying to myself, no, wait a minute. Toronto can't hit the ball against this tool, but when Max Fried is on the mound, he couldn't get out of the 3rd inning against his offense, right?
Yeah.
Made me start thinking, maybe we have another Houston Astros scandal on our hands.
What? What now? You almost have to play it twice just to piece together, Brock, all of the different parts of insanity that get to that take. You were asking us off the air about narcissism and some of the most narcissistic people we've ever met. I've never met Craig Carton. I don't know if he's a narcissist. I know he's doing some really great things these days, seriously, about, going around place to place, talking about gambling addiction and trying to, do some good in the world after something that went awry in his life. But I will tell you that as a general rule, there is no place in the world more narcissistic than the New York area. There is nowhere in the world that thinks that everything revolves around them quite like New Yorkers, and put Craig Carton into that category. The idea that Bryce Miller is a journeyman tool.
Do you think he kind of looked at him and thought he looks like a 1980s Topps baseball card guy?
Maybe.
He kind of looks like he could have. Remember that year of the Topps card where they had the wood framing around the card?
I think that was 85.
And he looks like he could have played for the 80s Brewers.
Yes.
With that stash and the hair.
Yeah, it would have been like Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, and Bryce Miller.
His name is Billy Miller, Billy Joe Miller.
Yes.
And he's a journeyman relief pitcher for the Brewers of the 80s.
The thing is, he's only been in the league. This is only his 3rd year in the league. And he's always been with the Mariners. So journeyman generally refers to old and well-traveled. Like Jesse Orozco was a journeyman pitcher. Jesse Chavez, isn't that the guy's name? The reliever who's been with the Braves 25 times. He is a journeyman pitcher.
Was Orozco the one that had the big
on 14 teams?
Journeyman pitcher. Absolutely.
Was Jesse Orozco the one with the big knee braces?
He's the lefty that pitched till he was 62 years old.
I think he had the load-bearing knee braces at the end of it.
Bryce Miller is in his 3rd year in the league, all with the Mariners, and was a 3.5 win pitcher last year. What are we talking about?
He finished.
The Blue Jays couldn't do it, did it against the Yankees, but they couldn't do it against some journeyman. There's got to be cheating going on. So when I say that people are just discovering the Mariners, I'm not joking. Craig Carton, bless his heart, has absolutely no freaking idea who Bryce Miller is. None. Zero.
No.
Zip. Zilch. Either he's confusing him with somebody else, he is willfully ignorant in order to make his own point, which as a radio host I can respect a little bit. Or he just has no freaking clue whatsoever is happening here in this little corner of the country where Bryce Miller is a lot of things, and not all of them positive. Many of them are. But he's definitely not a journeyman nobody tool. None of those three things describe Bryce Miller at all. It's hilarious.
Yes, Lyle. You were saying, Lyle?
Brock, they couldn't do it against Max Fried. What? Come on.
I mean, he finished 8th in the league in ERA last year, Bryce Miller. 8th. And now I'm looking at Craig Carton's Twitter, and now he's trying to clap back at people over the last day.
Over this?
Yeah, he responded to somebody who said he's 4-6 with an ERA over 5 this year. The year we're currently talking about is 2025. 2024 is irrelevant. Oh, look at him now.
Well,
now
I mean,
he's trying to
hurt.
backtrack now he's trying to backtrack his take.
I mean, come on. The guy was hurt. He did not have a great year. As I said, there is some kernel of truth in this take that Bryce Miller has not been at his best, and we were all a little worried about him in that game. But to suggest that Bryce doesn't have any talent, that there's nothing in there, that he's never shown it before is ridiculous.
And by the way, when you call him a journeyman, you're not just talking about this year.
That's another good point.
That's what I'm
you're
getting at.
specifically referencing the man's past.
How hard is it to just Google?
Just a little.
I mean, just it still blows my mind when I'll meet people or I'll meet coaches or whatever that come, like this last spring. The coaches come out to visit, the school, and the head coach has been a lot of places. Been an OC at Notre Dame, a head coach at Western Kentucky, and they don't even. Oh, you coached? Like, if we cross paths, like what? Like, just Google.
Right.
It's not that hard. Just Google. Just look at the back of his baseball card. It's not that hard. He's been in the league for 3 years.
253. Of course we're cheating, said the failed gambler. Yeah, I mean, there is an element of that. And the 206 gets it right also. Journeyman, fine. That's just being wrong and not bothering, as you said, to look at us being lazy. Why would you call him a tool? That feels unusually personal. Maybe he had a bet on Miller at some point that he lost.
Might not like the little whispery stash.
And maybe not.
Young Alan Jackson look. Probably not a tri-state kind of thing.
Yeah.
By the way, can we do this quick little game? Can we just, I think had some fun with this. I thought it was fairly instructive and informative the last time.
Are we going through the lineup?
Yeah, let's go through the lineup.
All right, so who's better? I've been saying the Mariners are a better team.
Yeah, I think this is a little closer than you think it is.
All right, let's rock and roll. What do you got?
Because Detroit was like, what, 7-2, 8-1?
It was not close.
Not close. Obviously, catcher.
Mariners.
Yes. Now, their guy would probably be the second best in all of the American League. If it was any other team not named the Mariners.
Don't start making excuses. You said to go back and forth. Mariners.
Kirk's cousin. Yep, okay. First base.
I got to go with Vlad, but you're right. It's close. I mean, yeah.
You're going with Vlad. You're going with Vlad.
Yeah.
Second base?
Polanco.
You're going Polanco. Shortstop.
Without Bo Bichette?
Yep.
I'll go with JP.
Okay. Third base?
I'll go with Gino.
You will?
Yeah.
You look at the year their guy has, right? He's pretty good.
Hasn't Barger had a pretty good year?
Gino Suarez hit 50 home runs, 49 home runs.
Gino's got an OPS in the 400s in the.
Well, in the last 2 months, you asked me who the better player is. I'll take the guy with 49 home runs, thanks.
Okay.
I'll take the guy who hit 49 home runs. Okay. I don't even think that should be up for debate. What?
Right.
Who would you rather have? Some rando dude? Barger's pretty good. I'm not trying to pull a Craig Carton.
Don't be
some journeyman tool Barger. No, he's a local kid. I'm just kidding. But the guy who hit 49 home runs is going to win that battle for me, thanks.
Right field?
That's what, Springer versus Robles?
No, Springer's a DH.
Oh, he's DHing in this scenario?
Yep.
Nathan Lukes.
Lukes versus
Robles. You're taking Lukes.
I guess
Lukes
I am.
You're taking Lukes. You're taking at DH. You're taking Springer, and then left field.
What about center field?
Well, center field's obvious.
Oh, can I have Julio in center?
Yeah, you can have Julio.
Okay, good. And who are my options in left?
Randy Land versus who's their guy?
I'll take Randy Land.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's that close. Starting rotation, I'll take the Mariners. Relievers, I'll take every one of the Mariners. Like, it's not that close or better team. What are we talking about? Why do I have to keep going through this all the time? I'm not jinxing them. This isn't a new take. I've been saying this since August 1st. Since August 1st. I believe it. I believe this is a good team. This is what I wrote on August 1st. The Mariners have a well-rounded, complete team. They can hit. They can hit for power. They can run. They can play defense. They can pitch. They have a serious bullpen, all in a year in which the American League has no dominant teams. Now it's up to these players. As Sarah Connor once said, Brock, there is no fate but that which we make for ourselves. And that's exactly where the Mariners are at in the American League. They have the opportunity to do whatever they want. And as they sit here now, 2 games away from going to the World Series, they're on the precipice of doing exactly that.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, Brock, what are you going to do about the offensive line here in Seattle? Is there anything to be done to try to get the run game to be at the same great place as this passing game?
Well, they're going to run out the same group, and they've done that all season long. Continuity has been cool. It has been a key. They're trying to give, I think, this group of men, with Bradford and Sundell in particular, right guard and center, the opportunity to keep growing. They'll play Monday night, and then they got a bye week. So you're telling me that we're going to have a bye week, and if the Mariners take good care of business, a whole week off of Mariners. But what are we going to do? What are we going to do, Salky?
I don't know. Let's not even think that way.
So for me, I can point a little bit to PFF. Yesterday, Daniel Jeremiah, we asked, he said, let me do a little more study on it, and he will. But our guy, Mr. Long, Chris didn't need PFF eyes. He needed his past D-line eyes to point to a couple of the issues on the Seahawks O-line.
So if the Seahawks want to take the next step, Sundell had a really rough game yesterday. You know, Bradford's been a little bit of a liability in pass pro. Like, you think about buyers at the deadline, maybe there's a situation where they're buying from the Cleveland Browns yard sale. I brought that up last night. So Seattle, they got to feel like they're contenders.
Can you do that on the O-line? Can you just bring somebody in off the track? I don't think it's that easy. I think receivers and running backs and corners and pass rushers, there's a lot less to think about. A lot less continuity where continuity matters. So, but to put a little emphasis on what Mr. Long is saying right there, Chris is saying, I just went to look at the PFF grades of the 5 linemen. Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas, having good years. Good years. Charles Cross is overall grade. He's the 15th out of 113 tackles. That's pretty good. Top 10%, pretty elite. Abe Lucas is 27th of 113 tackles. Right there in the top 20%. I mean, you have 2 tackles in the top 20% of the league and 1 in the top 5 to 10%. Really, really good. We go to Jalen. 44th out of 49. That is like Naylor's sprint speed. That is not in the percentile you want to be in. And Bradford, 90th of 109 guards. Yeah. PFF doesn't really like him. Mr. Long doesn't really like him. My eyes are concerned with him. I understand why they want them to grow and develop, because if they can, as young guys, you have really, really found something, Salk. I think they're going to give them this Texans game, which, again, will be a very difficult matchup. This Texans defense is elite. Really, really good up front. Going to be a hard challenge for them. And then they got the bye week to evaluate it, and then the trade deadline the first week of November. Something to certainly keep your eye on.
All right, question number 2. Well, there are stats, it seems like, for everything in the NFL, Brock, at quarterback as well.
Yep.
Anything that Darnold, anything you want to point out to or point to with Darnold or...
Hawkblogger put up like 8 different stats of Sam Darnold. I don't even know what they mean. Like EPA, DVOA plus. Like, I mean, just like some of these things that you see in baseball, where I'm like, I don't even know.
Expected
kind of
points added. That's EPA.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like trying to do a war for
Is that like
football players.
FIP plus? fit plus.
I mean, it's essentially how many more points are you adding over an average player, right?
Every one of those charts, Sam Darnold is meteoric. I mean, one of them the other day, he was barely in the XY axis, Salk. He was so far above everybody else. But the one stat I haven't seen, and I think it's difficult to do, is how many times when Sam Darnold plants his foot and throws, 3-step plant throw, 3-step throw, 5-step throw, 7-step throw. I just watching the all-22 again of the game the other day, like, you just don't see it. You don't see other QBs doing it. You see most of them in the gun. You see most of them, making a lot of their plays off schedule. Do you remember how many folks, speaking of national narratives, how many folks, including Tim Hasselbeck, used to scream about Russell? He never plays on schedule. He's not on time. Blah, blah, blah. Like, he's not a quarterback. Your buddy Zolak, not a quarterback. And some of it was because of that. It was so playground. Sam Darnold is such, I don't even know the word for it. It's beyond technician. It is. The ball is out. Wait till you hear from Joel Klatt in 45 minutes. He'll further diagnose this. Mm-hmm. They're not a quarterback playing on the kind of timing and precision and anticipation in the league that Sam is. And every one of those formulas backs it up.
All right, question number 3. You've done a lot of production meetings in football. Mark Schlereth was doing them with the Seahawks this past weekend. I thought he did another great job on the call, by the way. I absolutely love. Now, I've said this before. Hopefully, Mark doesn't get himself into trouble after I praise how good he is as a color commentator. Mark makes me laugh. I think he does a great job on the call. In any event, what did he get out of his?
Yeah, he's on with
he's
on with our afternoon show, Bob and Dave, every single week. I think that there's a lot. That's where the secret sauce comes from. Kind of like we chatted with Passan and Joe Davis. Like, hey man, when you're around those backstops and you get the managers, you get people outside of the office, and in production meetings, whether on the field or in their coaches, like you get good stuff. And here was Schlereth yesterday with Bob and Dave talking about that production time with Mike McDonald.
You love a coach that, and man, if I suck, I want you to let me know that I suck. One of the things he was just like, listen, we were awful. Day one, like, I've got to be better. Coaching, I'll take that. But you can't bust day one cover 4 principles. You can't. And then the other thing he talked about was the poor tackling. He said, I've never seen us tackled, like you don't run up on a guy and throw yourself at the guy's ankles. Yeah. That's never been taught here. That will never be taught here. And he said, and if you do that, you're not going to play for me.
Vulnerability, right? Having that vulnerability, which has been a day one Mike McDonald. Maybe overly so at times, as we've talked about. But just vulnerable about how I teach and how I coach, but not so much anymore. I like that. A year and a half in, if you don't do what we ask you to do, you're not going to be a part of this program. Like, it's just, I'm to the point now where I know what we're looking for, and this isn't a hubris. This isn't a pride thing. We're teaching day one stuff here, and if it isn't sinking in, it is for these other guys, and it certainly has for many of them that are developing. But if you're not, you're just not going to be a part of this program. And I think you see some of the spine that's developing there with Mr. McDonald.
All right, good stuff. That is today's Blue 88. A little bit of football in what is primarily still a baseball time, and we'll bounce back and forth, obviously, throughout the morning. A little bit more football with Joel Klatt at 8:30, and then highlight of the day, I hope, will be Alex Rodriguez at 9:30 this morning, as he is set to join us and talk through what he's seen so far in the series, what the Mariners need to do to close things out. Wow. Let's see. I got a lot of people asking Brock. When you were going through those grades, did you see one for Gray Zabel? Because people wondering how Gray.
Yeah,
is
so
doing.
he was a little up and down. He was not as low as Bradford, not as high as he thought. His pass protection still is his biggest plus. So he has been better in no pressures this week yet again. The only rookie lineman in the league to do that. So it's not been as high as you would have thought, because of the praise that's come his way.
Mm-hmm.
I kept him in a little different area just as a rookie, but he was, I want to say, in the 70s or so out of 109 or high 60s. So it was not in the top half of guards in the league. But these 2 tackles compensating quite a bit.
Good.
quite a bit. And the pass protection has also, with Sam's timing, also been
awesome.
pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's been really, really good.
Yeah,
All right.
7 sacks in 6 games, you'll take that every
Yeah,
game.
I would say so, especially when you had 7 sacks yourself in one game. That was just this past Sunday.
Look at you.
I know. Well, that's why the Seahawks are moving up in those power rankings and why DJ thinks they're one of the 2 best teams in the NFC right now with a lot of football left to be played. All right. We talk about advancing, Brock, and moving past where the Mariners are at now. What will it take for them to win these next 2 games? That's next on Brock and Salk.
This is where the baseball playoffs live.
This team is fired up. The fans here at T-Mobile Park are fired up.
The conversation.
This is the playoffs, the series we've all been talking about and pointing to.
The anticipation.
This is why you watch baseball.
And where you hear your American League West champion Mariners in the postseason.
It is gone! Jorge Polanco!
Seattle sports playoff coverage is presented by Honey Bucket on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course, and it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new leak armor installed windows through October. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Baseball's postseason is here. Seattle Sports Playoff coverage is presented by Honey Bucket, 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now, here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Oh, man. Let's see, Brock. Game 3 tonight. Awesome. Some sound here in a few minutes on what the Mariners need to do to win games 3 and 4 and advance to the World Series. That's awesome. What I'm about to have more read to you, though, not awesome, at least not for Cal Raleigh. This is kind of bizarre. So Cal is, as you know, one of the 2 favorites for the MVP award. Cal, as you know, was the Platinum Glove Award winner last year. It means not only was he the Gold Glove winner at catcher in the American League, but he was actually the single best defensive player, period, in the American League last year. Unfortunately, it seems like Cal really slipped this year. Didn't have a good year, I guess, because he went from being the Platinum Glove winner, the Platinum Glove winner last year, to not being even nominated for the Gold Glove. Maura, who are the nominees?
We just announced the 3 at each position in both leagues. And for catcher in the American League, it's Dylan Dingler from the Tigers, Alejandro Kirk from the Blue Jays, and Carlos Narvaez from the Red Sox. No Mariners nominated for Gold Gloves at all.
Julio?
Julio wasn't nominated in center field.
I don't... Wait.
What?
They're not showing outfield on here.
I think they're releasing them right now, so they're doing it position by position.
Okay, so we don't know, but no infielder.
Okay,
They've only
I'm
done
sorry.
the infield
They have
so
pitcher, catcher, first, second, third, and shortstop up right now.
All right, and I got to say, I don't know that there's any other Mariner in the infield that I would have nominated for Gold Glove, and Ben Williamson didn't play enough of the year. Fine. Nobody at second, nobody at short, nobody at first. So that's not a huge surprise.
Sorry, I didn't realize outfield wasn't.
That's okay. I think that I don't see a likelihood of Randy Rosarena being nominated for the Gold Glove. I would certainly hope that Julio is. How do you go from winning the Platinum Glove last year and having a grand total of 0 pass balls during this season? So it's not like he all of a sudden got bad. How do you not get nominated? Like, what am I? Did no one notice Cal this year? Was he not a story? Usually the Gold Glove goes to the best hitter at that position. But now we're going to get away from that, even though Cal is that and is probably, if he's not the #1 best defensive catcher in the American League, you're telling me he's not in the top 3? What am I missing? What am I
You're
missing?
telling me that guy Kirk that didn't even get up out of his stance on a foul ball the other night? That guy?
I'm not telling you anything.
Lyle, obviously there's next level numbers, right? We're not looking at what is a defensive run saved? Is it throwing guys out? What
Catcher
is it?
ERA?
What is it, Lyle? What is it, Lyle?
So just by the numbers, by defensive run saved and then fielding run value, those 3 guys do rank higher than Cal Raleigh this year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I still would have nominated Cal for an award.
How do you? Geez, that is a tough one in terms of catcher
Measuring.
to look. Yeah, I'm curious how they measure it. I'm not saying it's not measurable because obviously they're attempting to do so. But man, that's a pretty big surprise for me. Honestly, I'm surprised that Cal would not at least be nominated. Maybe not win. Yeah, maybe somebody had an outstanding year, and it's not like I've watched every single pitch of Dylan Dingler's season or Alejandro Kirk's season.
That guy's really good. I mean, we saw him
All
last
three
series,
of them are good.
and he gunned you down, and he was really hard to
Yeah.
run against. Was Cal not as hard to run against this year? But isn't that equally part of the pitcher as much as it is the catcher? I mean, if you're just simply looking at those numbers and percentages, I mean, unfortunately, the journeyman, slappy that is Bryce Miller, I mean, he's not great at holding guys on. So is that unfortunately go against Cal? Is it the dip in the numbers from the year before? I don't know, man. My eyes, did you see anything different?
No.
Did you listen to all the former catchers that we have had on
and he
this
just
show?
played in more games as well. So I don't know. I kind of would put all that together, and I don't really see where that.
By the way,
from.
PR Newswire is saying Julio is a finalist along with Kyle Isbell of the Royals and Cedane Rafaela of the Red Sox.
Yeah, that makes
for
sense.
Center field.
That makes sense. I think Julio's got a real shot to win that thing, by the way. Like, I think he had an unbelievable season in center field, and certainly the name recognition should help as well. All right, enough complaining. Let's talk through what the Mariners need to do here to get to the World Series. They are 2 wins away. We had Jeff Passan on with us yesterday, and we asked him, all right, what do they need to do?
I think they need to keep throwing strikes. I think their inveterate strike throwing has been the sort of thing that throws off a team like Toronto that has pretty good plate discipline and that has bat to ball. When you get ahead, you put them into a defensive position. And that's what I think Mariners pitchers have done throughout this series. And it's why it was so impressive what Bryce Miller did. Bryce Miller could have cowered after that first inning. Batted balls of 109, 105, and 103. I turned to Jorge Castillo, who I was sitting next to in the press box, and said, hey, this is not good. He's not going to last. And then he goes and throws 5 of the best innings I've seen this postseason.
Day one install. Right, you heard Schlereth talking about it with Mike McDonald. What is day one install in the Mariners organization? When you get drafted to the Mariners, when you get brought into fall league instruction, when you get to spring training, when you sit with Pete Woodworth, what is day one install?
Throw strikes, control the zone. The number one thing, right? The entire thing is built on that.
So when you get to the biggest moments and you get to the ALCS and you get to a place that you have never been to, up 2-0, what is going to be a reminder to Mr. Kirby tonight?
I don't think you'd have to remind George Kirby to throw strikes. He might remind you that he's going to occasionally not throw a strike on purpose because he throws strikes whenever he wants. No, I think you're absolutely right. And it's one of the reasons I do like this matchup with the Blue Jays. I think that it takes away a lot of what they're best at. The more you can throw strikes to them, you keep them from getting into those advantageous counts late, and they want to take pitches and then make contact.
And I know that Springer's done some damage. He nearly had back-to-back leadoff home runs against you. But and this goes back to something Goldie said leading into that Houston series on the road in September. That was the biggest series at that point. It was basically a playoff series before these series. And he's like, I kind of like their right-handed bats. Right, you're right-handed dominant, basically, other than Spire. And you know what? Vladdy and Springer and Kirk and, a lot of their big damage, game-changing guys hit from that side of the box that I think is also a good deal and a good matchup for the M's.
As for the offensive side, a little bit more from Jeff Passan.
I think number 2, they keep hitting home runs. Like, you go and look at the record of teams in the postseason, and the teams that hit more home runs than the other teams are playing like 850 ball. And I'm not saying that if you hit more home runs, you're going to win, but the two tend to be extremely strongly correlated, if not causative. And I know those are simple things, Brock, but when you're up 2-0, don't overcomplicate things.
Yeah, and Randy?
I like home runs.
Randy, take your Randy hacks. I think I texted you guys the other day. All 3 of his swings. Okay, what did Divish say about his guys?
Yeah, they got 1 or 2 Randy hacks, and then they had to go. Yeah,
then you got to log in. Not Randy. Like every one of them. Naylor's helmet's falling off his head. Like, Yeah, they're not slowing down the swing, just trying to put the ball in play.
I like it. I mean, you know me. I think I'm right there. I think home runs are more important than contact. And I think, one of these two teams hits more home runs. The other one is better at making contact. And I think what you've seen through the first two games is that the team with more home runs has been better than the team that makes more contact. I'm not saying it's irrelevant, and I'm not saying every player on the team should swing for the fences on every pitch. But I think home runs are very, very, very important. And if you can walk and take home runs, you will minimize the damage done by taking a bunch of strikeouts.
Does that change at all as you come home? What's the temperature first pitch tonight?
I'm going to guess it's going to be a little chilly tonight.
It's going to be 59.
Because there's no cloud cover, right? I mean, it's just going to be like that fall crisp. Going to guess and that's what it should be in October. That's October baseball.
So there may be a time when runners are first and second. Let's get them over to second and third. There may be a time when the runner's on third with less than 2 outs. Let's just find a way to get him home.
But when you hit a 3-run shot like Julio did in the first inning, like Polanco did a few innings later, a 2-run shot like it just really does help your ability to win games. Doesn't mean it's the only way. Obviously, they won Game 5 where the Tigers hit a home run and the Mariners did not. There are other ways to score, and that's what makes this team so interesting. The Mariners, yes, they're a better home run hitting team than most, but they do have days where they find other ways to win. Yes. They complement that with some bat-to-ball skills, with some aggressiveness. It's why they're here, and it's why they got a chance to go to the next place as well and play in the World Series for the first time in franchise history. Game 3 today. We'll see how those keys play out. Bob Stelton, Dave Wyman, Ryan Rowland-Smith, all live from Victory Hall right across the street from the park. 2 to 4 today as they get you set for Game 3 of the ALCS. If you're not going, find the show on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app. Joel Klatt joins us in 20. Everything you need to know next. I'm Brock and Salk.
2 down, 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Well, our baseball team is taking care of business in a way they've really not ever done in the past. So I think it's time for you on this Wednesday morning to maybe take care of some business that you've put to the side. You've been frustrated, you've been stressed, you've been confused about your insurance. Well, do what Molly and so many of my family and friends have done. Take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Let them be your unbelievable teammate right in the middle of your lineup. Here's how they're going to do it. They will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage. Then, and this is the key, they go to the market. Dozens of major carriers they've got connective tissue with, they've worked with for years to find you the best fit. That's it. There's no stress. There's no confusion. There's no assumptions. First Mark is your elite teammate. They've spent the last 30 years helping thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance. So if you're frustrated this morning, you're confused, you've assumed too much, take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. Totally free. And you might be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. It's all right there. Firstmarkinsurance.com. Your teammate, your great teammate that goes to work for you.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
May I help you? I just wanted to request a late checkout, please. Of course. That's $30 per hour for up to 4 hours. Huh. Okay, but if you can offer a late checkout, then that probably means no one is staying in that room. So if it's empty, maybe I can just stay a few extra hours. Oh, aren't you adorable?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
John here with Happy Hauler. We want to help get your unwanted items to those in need. Furniture and household items you plan on throwing away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill, and giving useful items a second happy home. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We work with over 20 nonprofits all over Western Washington to donate used items. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
I had a young woman who was on a new SUV, and she had attachments to her old car because it was her first car, and she had questions because she was doubling her spending budget, and she was very fiscally responsible. It was almost making her sick. And the best path at that point was to, let's stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier. These are major life accomplishments. You have the ability to afford at this tier. You've secured one of the major needs in your life. You should be feeling a tremendous amount of pride and respect for your accomplishments. I'm just grateful that we get to celebrate it with them, that we get to be part of it in that aspect of it.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here, and we've been fortunate to hear from two Swedish CyberKnife patients this year, Andy Ryder and Tim Hunter. Both heard about CyberKnife from our radio ads and completed successful treatment, raving about their experiences. Tim was impressed that treatment only took 5 days. Andy hosted a large international delegation the week after his treatment. If you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish CyberKnife here in Seattle. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Ryan Roland Smith here. For more than 35 years, the NBA Health Insurance Trust has been helping local builders, contractors, and their employees save money and gain peace of mind. They offer customized group health plans from the state's leading insurance providers. Small and mid-sized businesses deserve big healthcare access. The NBA Health Trust brings you the coverage you want at a price you can trust. Find out more at mbahealthtrust.com. That's mbahealthtrust.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Game 3 tonight in Seattle. T-Mobile Park will be the center of the baseball universe once again. Man, a lot of people sure seem to watch Game 5 the last time a game was played here. 8.7 million viewers, Brock, on Friday night. Best ALDS audience since 2011. You surprised by that number at all?
No. I mean, it was had some advantages. It went 5 hours. It was the talk of social media. It was kind of one of those, what am I missing? Right? Fear of missing out. So something like this is going on. One of the greatest games ever. The greatest closeout game, longest game ever. And so, no, was not surprised to see those numbers absolutely off the charts. And it's awesome. It's awesome for baseball. It's awesome for the Mariners. And maybe a little eye-opening for some of those that get to pick when and where to put the Mariners on network television. Going to see maybe a little more of the hometown nine in prime spots.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that stands out quite a bit. It will be, of course, George Kirby, similar to Game 5, on the mound once again. Blue Jays will counter with Shane Bieber. Bullpen got, I mean, most of the bullpen got 2 days to rest, or 2 days to rest. Even Bizzardo and the guys who pitched got 1 day of rest. So you would think that they should be rip-roaring ready to go, right? And if Kirby can get you 5-6 innings, man, you put you in a
Why can't he go 8 or 9 like Blake Snell and the other guy for the Dodgers? It's a very simple game. Just go 8 or 9 innings. The Dodgers bullpen has had to pitch 1 inning in the NLCS. What are we talking about?
Well, if he pitches like Blake Snell, then absolutely he can go 8 innings. I don't know that.
I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going
his-
to play that Dodgers game, Mariners game, if those are the two
No,
outstanding.
let's not
We're
do
not
that.
gonna do that.
Let's not do that. That doesn't sound like nearly
Catcher,
as much
first
fun.
base, second base, third base, shortstop.
Let's see. Gold Glove nominations are out. The good news, Julio Rodriguez, one of the 3 nominees in center field, along with Kyle Isbell and Cedon Rafaela. Unfortunately, and it's really bizarre, no sign of former Platinum Glove winner Cal Raleigh. The 3 catcher nominees are Dingler, Kirk, and Narvaez. It is... it just doesn't sit right.
Well, it's just looking solely at these baseball savant numbers. It's looking at numbers and not using your eyes.
Right.
It's not taking in all of the count.
Maybe you
everything
can't
that
use your
catchers have to do.
I mean, are you expecting every person who votes for this to look and watch every game? Sort of hard to do, but how does Cal go from where he was last year to now? Doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Talked a lot this year about how the American League didn't have a dominant team, and it did not. The NFL, maybe the NFC, kind of the same this year, as everyone has been a little iffy. Every time you think there's a couple of teams that are separating themselves, they come crashing right back to earth. It's why when we asked Daniel Jeremiah yesterday who were the best teams in the NFC, he didn't have any problem putting the Seahawks among them.
I said this on the show yesterday. I honestly think it's a rematch of the game you guys saw the week before. Just in terms of who's playing the best, I think those 2 teams are playing the best right now.
Seattle and Tampa.
Yeah, that's just what I've watched on a weekly basis. The teams that impress me the most, that when you're watching them, kind of jumps off the screen a little bit. And I say that knowing Philly's got time to figure out what's going on with them. We'll see Green Bay as they kind of go throughout the year. As they do they take it up to another gear. Atlanta's playing great. There's some good options out there, but just in terms of the week to week stuff, with what I've seen, I don't think I've seen better teams than those 2.
And unfortunately, in that one, you didn't play the kind of ball you're capable of. Nowhere near it defensively, and had numerous starters out and guys knocked out in that game. And I think that's what he's speaking to, is that so did Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was without their corners and without their receivers, and look at the way they still played. And we know attrition's a really big deal. It's very real in the NFL.
Yep.
The deeper the roster, the better the chance.
I like what DJ had to say about their offense, though, maybe even more. How good is this Seahawks offense right now?
I just love the rhythm to an offense and the rhythm to a passing game, and everything's tied with footwork and routes, and it connects, and it's back foot. He's breaking balls, gone. But this is like watching a symphony when you're under center, and it's everything. You could do this in practice and do 10 reps in a row. It's going to marry up with your footwork and the depth of the route, and that's why you get this incredible. It's aesthetically pleasing to me to watch it.
Like a symphony, Brock?
Of destruction.
Going Megadeth on me this morning? Doesn't seem like something you're used to doing. A little extra day off. Monday night matchup at home. 7 p.m. start, by the way, against the Texans.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Kraken don't get a win yesterday, but they do still manage a point in Montreal. Not a great first period. They got down by a goal, but they came back, battled back and forth. Unfortunately, had a late lead, gave it up, and then lost in overtime. So they get a point. Goals for McCann, Yanni Newman, Jaden Schwartz, Jamie Alexiak. Now off to Ottawa tomorrow. Is everything you need to know? Huh?
Schwartz, you got to go?
He did. Yeah, it's your guy. You happy about that? Are you going to root for him now this year?
I'm trying to get him a contract extension. That's what I'm trying to do.
Really? Because he can be here longer.
I think I can tell the story. We were all up there in Alaska at a beautiful fishing lodge up there, and there were a bunch of Kraken brass also up there. And we were at the dinner table. You eat family style, and Schwartzy's over there. And I'm like, Schwartzy, where are you at on your contract?
Jeez.
The whole table went silent.
I bet it did.
Let me shove some food in my mouth here. Oh, you're right in the midst of a. Last year your deal. Well, let's broker the deal right now.
Wow.
Let's get this deal done now.
I'm sure everybody else there loved that, Brock. That was so nice of you to bring that up.
Brock has killer instinct when it comes to uncomfortable moments.
I sure do.
He likes to make people uncomfortable.
I mean, somebody did send in a text earlier when we were talking about Craig Carton and Googling, and someone said, wait, Brock's telling people to Google things? Isn't this the guy that said the WNBA was going to ban booing?
Oh, that was I got Centel. Big difference.
Maybe Craig Carton did also. Who knows? That's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here in the Brock and Salk Show. You can watch a little high school football live Saturday night. Seattle Sports Game of the Week, Brock, presented by ESPN. North Creek, the Jaguars, hosting the Liberty Patriots.
Oh, yes.
Live from Pop Keeney Stadium in Bothell. North Creek and Liberty. Where's North Creek?
Yeah, when those two get together, man.
Where is North Creek?
Yeah, I think I always get the Mukilteo, Mill Creek, that kind of area.
Oh, you think it's up in there? Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And then you said Liberty is
Issaquah.
Okay, well, you can watch the game live Saturday, 7 o'clock.
It says North Creek's in Mill Creek.
Okay, exclusively in the Seattle Sports app, seattlesports.com, and Seattle Sports YouTube page as well for full 2025 matchups. Go to seattlesports.com/.
Do you know where Mukilteo ends and Mill Creek begins?
I'm guessing right around I-5.
Is it?
I would assume. Mill Creek is to the right and Mukilteo's to the left, I think.
Okay, all right.
The Mukilteo-Everett line can be a little iffy. In fact, we used to have somebody who worked here, I won't name names, who always said that she lived in Mukilteo. But I think when we saw her address, we found out she lived in Everett. And I always found that to be very funny. And she's like, well, I was on the border. I don't know. Anyway, I always thought that was pretty funny. Okay, well, there we go, Brock. I've played Mill Creek Country Club. Not easy. A lot of trees. No. Very tight. A lot of lost balls.
And Harbor Point is Mukilteo.
That is Mukilteo for sure.
Mukilteo
yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
that's almost, because you got to head south off the speedway from there.
Okay.
All right. Let's, well, speaking of tight courses and people who can dominate them, I'm not one of them, but Joel Klatt is. He's also going to give us a tremendous inside view, Brock, as to what we're seeing at quarterback and some of the stuff you and DJ were talking about yesterday. I think I need to hear a little bit more about.
And he's got the Huskies and Wolverines.
Oh, he does?
Gus Johnson's Wolverines, Joel Klatt's Husky.
I didn't even know that. That's next on Brock and Salk.
2 down, 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Hey, look, the simple truth is there's a lot more to retirement planning than just calculating your expenses and trying to maintain your lifestyle. I think about retirement a lot. I'm looking forward to traveling. There's a lot I want to see, a lot I want to do once I'm finally able to retire. But in order to do it, you got to start thinking about it and planning for it now. You can't just decide one day like, all right, I'm ready to go. And that's why you need help. Trajan Wealth can help build a strategy based on realistic options that align with your goals and circumstances. If you're interested in wealth management that's designed to protect, maintain, and even expand your financial portfolio, you call Trajan Wealth at 206-466-3300. They understand the importance of tactical investments, tailored insights, growth in line with your risk tolerance, and they do have fiduciary advisors as well. So they understand no two retirement plans are the same, and they're not trying to upsell you on anything. That's the great thing about a fiduciary. Let Trajan Wealth help you develop a plan that's going to meet your financial goals. And let's get retired so we can go experience all the rest of the world has to offer. Call them today, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
Open enrollment for Medicare is underway. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man here. Get organized now with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil, a Wix filter, and a $15 gift card after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Temperatures are dropping, but you don't have to settle for a chilly home this winter. Keep cozy and safe with energy-saving products during Washington Energy's home heating sale on now. Upgrading your home is as easy as $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 off. Take $1,000 off furnaces, fireplaces, and water heaters, $2,000 off high-efficiency heat pump systems, and $3,000 off whole home generators and ductless mini splits, plus free financing. Washington Energy Services, your expert resource for affordable home comfort. Call for a free estimate.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Home of your American League West Division champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at ProSculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's ProSculpt.com.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
You're getting killed, man.
Who dat, me?
You, yeah.
For what, Google?
Well, for where some of these towns and high schools are.
Oh.
A lot of people saying Liberty's in Renton.
Oh, it's on the Renton-Issaquah. It's like that. It's... I've always said Issaquah. The people that I know who've gone to school there are Issaquah. It's right there, Renton-Issaquah, right on that border.
A lot of people disagreeing. And
okay. All right, maybe.
And others saying that North Creek and, what'd you say, Mukilteo don't even share a border.
I said Mill Creek.
Mill Creek, excuse me. That Mill Creek and Mukilteo don't share a border.
Fine.
Right in between them is,
Again,
Everett.
it's all squishy for me. I apologize. I don't know my municipalities.
Usually you do, though. And then someone says, Salk, good God, do you ever go north of Shoreline? No. Absolutely not. I think I make it very clear. I try not to.
How do you think that Salk thinks there's no traffic?
I try
He
to
sticks
stay
to his own little
in
bubble.
Seattle. That's why I live in the city, so I
You've
don't
never
have to
been
go
up
out
to
there.
Cedro Woolley?
I go occasionally.
You've never been to Burlington? You've never seen the tulips at Mount Vernon?
Occasionally.
Golly.
But I try not to. I try to keep it south of certainly Edmonds. My God, I don't go that far north. That would be horrendous. Let's talk to Joel Klatt, who joins us every week at this time. Good morning, Joel. How are you? He's on video, of course, for all of you who've been watching on YouTube here the last couple days. Good morning, Joel. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys today?
Well, we're going through geography. It's what you do when your team is 2 wins away
Yeah.
from the World Series.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you talk about. Listen. Geography would be difficult for me. I'm not great. You ask me like how to get to Yorba Linda and something. I'm like I don't know.
So where
Take
were
some
you?
highway with some number.
Right.
It's probably like I don't know.
Who did you have last Friday night? Where were you guys at?
Good question. Where I was in Illinois.
Oh, that's right, Champaign.
I was in Champaign, and our director Rich Dewey, Brock. I know you know him. We were locked in on that Mariners game. I couldn't stay up because we have the early game at noon, and I was just like, about the 13th inning, I was like, okay, I've got to call it. I've got to go to sleep. But that was an incredible game. I know that you guys have probably moved on from that entirely, but as a baseball guy,
no, not really.
I was floored at sorry for being the old man that shouts at the clouds, but like, can we not execute a bunt? What are we like? How many guys are going to get to second base with no outs, and we can't get them in scoring position? Either team. I was like, what is happening?
Joe, squeeze your cheeks. What did you say when Ricky Henderson was on first? What did you try to do?
Yeah, that's right. Double cheek it, baby, from the heels.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about home runs in the postseason.
Even the big dumper looked just like awful in some of those at bats. I was just like, what are we doing? How about homeboy in the NLCS? What's his name? I don't know his name. Who cares what his name is? Doesn't wear it. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and he gets out of the way of the pitch. Oh my goodness! Code red. Somebody in the locker room.
It's not what it used to be, man. Old man yells
Bryce
at clouds
Terang.
for sure.
Be Bryce Terang, Joel. Okay, that's who should have worn it.
Who's
Terang.
awesome, by the way. He's like the
Don't
Mr.
worry.
Gritty guy.
He made
too.
up. Yeah, well, yeah, Mr. Stupid, because not only does he not wear it, then he swings at a pitch at his forehead.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen a big leaguer have that bad of an approach and that big of a spot?
Yeah, actually, we see
And
it,
two-pitch-
we've seen
like a
it fairly
two-pitch just
often over the
brain
last few
fart.
years. We watched an 18-inning game in the postseason just a couple of years ago where the home team didn't score a run. So, yes, we've seen a little of the swinging from the heels moments here in Seattle, but we're pretty happy, man. You got a team 2 wins away from being in the World Series, and they're coming home. It's honestly, it kind of led to a conversation that I think you would be.
The M's haven't been in the World Series, right?
Never.
No.
Never happens. Never.
Oh,
never
how
happened.
exciting.
In fact,
This
they've
is
never
awesome.
won 3 games in the ALCS. They've never even been a game away. They are as close right now as they've ever been.
Wow.
So,
way to put the announcer's jinx on
well,
them.
that's sort of my
gosh.
question for you. So, pressure and expectations. It's we ended up starting the show this morning talking about having a killer instinct, how to handle high expectations, how to handle being ahead, how to handle being a favorite. It strikes, and Brock and I have talked about this a ton, strikes us that has been one of the great curses in sports, certainly in football in the last decade, is teams really struggling to handle success. What do you think is the secret to it, to finding a way to not get caught up in the pressure of having a lead?
Yeah, it's simple to say, hard to execute, but it's being process oriented and not results oriented. If you're results oriented and you start thinking about, what's going to happen if, X, Y, or Z happens, then you get totally away from your process. But those that are, the Nick Sabans of the world that dive right back into, well, this is just how we operate. It doesn't matter if it's June 15th or if it's October 15th. This is how we approach every at bat. This is how we approach these situations. This is how we prepare our pitching staff to go out and attack. those are the teams that generally have success in these, what we'd call like big moments, where the result is in a different stratosphere than the result on June 15th. Because if you go out there and I'm trying to win the NLCS. No. You're trying to execute this pitch. You're trying to, put together a quality at bat, just like you would any other time. It's this dumb golf adage of like one shot at a time. Get in your process, get in your routine, and the teams that can do that generally have success in these closeout or result-oriented type of games. And this transcends sports, by the way. This transcends any sport, anything. If you go in and you're like, well, this sale is going to be so much bigger, and you start changing everything you're going to do, and you're like, well, I got to do it differently and bigger because the result is bigger. Well, then you're going to fail. So it's got to be process-oriented and not results-oriented.
Joel, from your life experience, and I was chatting with Salk earlier about a killer instinct and finishing teams, and from a couple of the teams that I got fortunate to play on, when you truly love your brother and you think more about your brother and think more about your teammate than you do yourself, man, it to me eases so much of that burden of results. From your life experience of professional baseball and high-level college football, is there a difference between the two sports, the clubhouse, the locker room, the game, in that manner?
Yeah, because football is so inherently a team game. Like you have to have all 11, in particular on offense, all 11 do their job, and if they don't, it fails. Now, baseball is way different because the process is actually individual. You've got to handle your business, and those that love their teammates the most will handle their business with a lot more efficiency and professionalism than the guys that are just in it for themselves and don't really care. Their at-bats are different. Their preparation is different. The way that they talk game plan with the other players is different. But baseball is so much more similar to golf than it is to football. Football is a real team sport. Baseball is not. You just have to trust that pitcher, and particularly like a middle reliever. And I know the M's have a pretty good bullpen, if I'm not mistaken. But you've got to trust that he went through his preparation. But like, I don't know what his preparation is. I'm just sitting there over at third base. So I'm just like, hey man, throw a strike. Like that's all I want out of that guy. It's like, stop, nibbling at, you get 2 strikes. Like, give me an out pitch. So it is a lot different, but what is similar is the more you care about your teammates, the better care you will have for your own process. And I think that's where there is some crossover.
We talk about that killer instinct, and in football, it does feel like in game, not like necessarily.
Well, I think this is a fascinating discussion because you guys keep bringing up like this killer instinct. I disagree. I don't think that you have to have killer instinct. You should have urgency in your preparation at all times.
Okay, so
and
yes.
those that aren't wowed by the moment end up having this perception of killer instinct, but all they're doing is executing the simple details. It's just a bigger moment.
So I agree with all of that, and then kind of spinning it to in-game in the NFL sometime or in college. Sometimes the play calling becomes a part of that. How do you want to handle the end of a game, the last 10 minutes when you're up 2 scores? Do you want to try to run out the clock? Do you want to try to be more aggressive? And that's where I was going to take this. I don't know if you got to see the Seahawks game and the way it ended in Jacksonville, but, they have kind of a choice of what to do late in that game. They get the ball back. They're up a score. How do you want to handle it? And what do? They throw what ended up being a 61-yard play deep down the field in play action to a tight end that essentially is the aggressive play that ices the game. I'm kind of curious what you think goes into making a play like that from Darnold to A.J. Barner.
I believe that is going out there and not trying to force your desire onto the game. It's like, yeah, you want to close out the game, but part of what makes the offense is we're going to go out there and we're going to attack the weaknesses of the defense. So where they give us an opportunity, we have to be willing, number one, and able to attack that and execute. So quick story, and I know like people won't obviously remember this, but we welcomed, when I was playing a lifetime ago, we welcomed Oklahoma in. This is Jason White and that great Oklahoma team in like 2003, and they were ranked number 1. Teddy Lehman's their linebacker, and we had come off a couple of losses, and we got into a position where our offense started to play well, shockingly, and like we get within 6 with about 3 minutes to go. And we had played well enough where it's like, okay, just get us the ball back and we're going to have a chance. So now, like, what does OU do at that point? Well, OU trusted what their offense was. And so they didn't just come out and say like, well, the smart thing to do is just hand it off 3 times and do these things that some book would tell you to do. They went out there and they looked at what we did defensively and they saw man coverage, bump coverage, and they thought, okay, well, if we're going to do this in the second quarter and take advantage of that bump coverage, we're going to take advantage of that bump coverage now. And they threw a fade, for a first down, and it goes down, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. And it looks like they went out there to be aggressive. But I would push back on it. They didn't go out there to be aggressive. They went out there to attack the defense. What is the defense giving us? If they want to sit back, we'll run the football. If they don't, then we'll attack. I also called a game a few years ago when Pete Kwiatkowski, who you guys know was a Washington defensive coordinator, it was his first year at Texas. Sark is there. It's his first year. They're playing Mike Gundy's Oklahoma State team, and this was a veteran Oklahoma State team that ended up winning or going to and playing the Big 12 championship. I can't remember if they won that one. I think that they won this one. But anyways, like Texas gets within a score, and you think to yourself, like, okay, like what's going to happen here? And Pete Kwiatkowski stays with 2 safeties back. He plays cover 2, and so Oklahoma State just ran the ball at him. And, it's not that they were going out there to be aggressive or to be patient and drown out the clock. It goes back to my original answer. You stay within your process. What are you and what are you going to do? Well, we're going to go take advantage of what the defense is going to give. And those are the teams that generally have success. I love that from Seattle. Seattle's playing really well. Darnold continues to play well. And I would just say, like, Jackson Smith-Njigba is one of the best receivers in the National Football League. That guy is phenomenal. I love watching him play.
You and Gus called 52 Ohio State games of Jackson's 53 that he played there. Did you ever think when you watched him there, he would be one of the 3 best receivers in the – you did. You thought he had enough juice to do that.
Yes. I was actually, truth be told, and this is going to sound disparaging. It's not meant to be disparaging. When Seattle drafted him, I was disappointed because I thought if he went to a guy like McVay or someone like that, I was like, oh, yeah, like someone's going to use him all. And he went to Seattle, and it's like, geez, like Pete and Geno? Like, what's he going to do with Pete and Geno? And sure enough, like it didn't necessarily materialize because I didn't think it was a great fit. But now it's a little different, right? Like he's got a quarterback that understands how to utilize him, play efficiently, attack the middle part of the field. His short area quickness and explosiveness, I should say, it's more explosiveness, makes him perfect for his role. He's really intelligent. And Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson used to tell me in their practices, we would go and I would stand there, and I'm always a bit aggressive, so I would just go stand out with the wide receivers and Coach Hartline, and Ryan used to let me do that. And I would talk to him, and Garrett and Chris would always say, like, well, Jackson's the best of us. He's the best receiver here. And he's starting to prove that out in the NFL.
You know what's extraordinary too, Joel? The only question that I had, and DJ and I talked a lot about it through the process leading up to and afterwards, is there enough speed? It's kind of like
speed. Yeah, that was always the question.
Yeah, it's like velo in baseball, right? We watch these guys and the difference between 98, 99 and 94, 90. And Jackson was the fastest guy on Sunday in the NFL, a little over 21 miles an hour on a deep ball that he caught. Like no one ran faster than him on that Sunday in all the NFL. You're just seeing if he has that card and could truly play that fast, then what he's doing is the best, most productive receiver in the game. Probably shouldn't be surprising.
Well, and it's also, I I use so many analogies.
You do?
So I do. A pitcher that throws 98, but is going to be over the fat part of the plate and doesn't have a great off-speed pitch, not that difficult to face. A pitcher that throws 96, but locates incredible, and his off-speed stuff is under 86, so he gives you that 10-mile-an-hour delta. Now he's really difficult to face. Well, Jackson Smith and Jigba is similar to that. He might not be the fastest guy. However, he is the smartest in a lot of ways, and he understands how to gain separation. And part of that separation means that he understands how to play with pace and tempo and patience at times, which then makes his 21 miles an hour feel like 23. Because he's playing at a certain pace and separation throughout the game. And then all of a sudden you're a DB and you're like, whoa, like, what was that? I haven't seen it, so his technical ability, and I would say instincts and savvy as a route runner, make him a lot more difficult to cover than a guy that's just like, well, he runs 23 miles an hour. I remember, I'm not going to name names. You could probably go back and figure this out. The 2019 Ohio State team that was very good, very good. This was Ryan's first year. And all these receivers are there. And we went to call their game at Indiana. And the Indiana defensive coordinator at the time shows up to our meetings, our production meetings, and he was like, yeah, our strength staff has a way to calculate miles per hour off of film. And he has told us that none of their players have run 21 miles an hour on the field. This is a dead true story. And our DBs, we know through the catapult system and the GPS, they run 22 miles an hour. So we feel very confident that we can play man coverage. And I just put my pen back in my book and I shut my little notebook, and I was like, have a great game tomorrow. We're good. And I just shook my hands and the true story. And I tell our producer, Chuck McDonald, director, Rich Dewey, and our whole crew at our production meeting. And I start the whole production meeting with this. I want every single filler graphic and storyline you got, because this is going to be an absolute blowout. And sure enough, the first series of the game, like, they run a crossing route. I think it was Jackson, actually. And Jason takes the crossing route, and he is running away from the defender for a 60-yard touchdown. And I'm just hitting the talkback button in my headset. And I was just going 20, 21, 22, 23 miles, and I was just, and we were, it turns out that defensive coordinator called me a year later and apologized for the meeting. He was like, hey, it's always stuck with me what I told you that day before the Ohio State game. And I just wanted to say, like, that was wild. And I was like, I knew you were getting blown out the minute you started talking about, speed off of the film. So anyways.
So this week you're in the big house, right? So we'll do a quick little Washington Wednesday here, brought to you by Star Rental, since you've got the Huskies.
Yeah, I got Washington.
And
That's
the
right.
Wolverines.
Gosh,
what do you expect to see? Give me a little
Is
Husky
DeMond
insight.
Williams fast? Do you think he's fast?
Yeah, can he hit 22 miles an hour?
Yes, dude. It's short area quickness. He's like Kyler Murray light. I really like DeMond Williams. I really like him. I love Jonah Coleman, even though he didn't have a great game against Rutgers. I'm a huge fan of Denzel Boston. It worries me that Carver Willis is banged up, the left tackle, and specifically because Michigan moved this off-the-ball linebacker named Jayshawn Barham to edge. And this is very similar to Penn State when they moved Abdul Carter from off-the-ball linebacker to edge, and then he became, a top 10 pick, top 5 pick, and a great pass rusher. And that's what Barham is. So that worries me a little bit. That's a matchup. If I'm a Husky fan, I would be very keyed in on, this Maximus McCree against Jayshawn Barham. That's something that worries me a little bit. But then, defensively, I look at this defense for Washington, and they're pretty good. Ryan has done a nice job. They're not, the best defense in the world, but they're giving up under 20 points right now. they mix up their coverages. They can play man with Tacario Davis on the field. They can certainly do a lot more things in coverage. I wish Zach Durfee was gonna play. I hope I'm not breaking news on that. Maybe I am. I don't know. I shouldn't say much. But here's the thing with Michigan. Michigan lost their identity against USC. They allowed them to run the football, which is a no-no. That's the first domino. And then they didn't start out running the football. And I feel like Washington is going to get, and Sharon Moore this week, he shows up with the, what was it, like the blue-collar jacket, the mechanic's jacket, the bowling patch on it. He's got his name. I think that Washington better buckle up and realize, like, you're going to get an old school, physical
50 times
approach.
Yep.
Yeah, I really believe that, Brock. Those. You can when you hear a coach talk about things like that, you're like, I know exactly what they're going to do, and so they're going to lean in and see if Washington is physical enough to stop them.
What a stage for DeMond. Obviously Underwood, the Michigan kid, the true freshman, all the hype, all the height, all the weight, all the arm talent, blah, blah, blah. And DeMond's starting to make his mark, but man, is Saturday one heck of an opportunity for him. He goes in there and beats them. He goes around, runs around, and 300 yards of total offense or whatever it's going to take, and he's the difference maker, and he's the star that Jed Fish thinks he is. This is a Saturday that DeMond can turn a lot of national heads.
Joel, thank you, as always. Great stuff today, and we'll talk to you next week.
Salk,
appreciate it.
Salk, you and me, we're hit our stride.
We're really growing.
This is... I tell you what, you only asked one average question.
Only one. Wow.
That is great.
I'm impressed I got up to one average question. Usually they're all below average.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you
stepped up, right? He stepped up.
You did an incredible job. I continue to be long-winded and don't allow you to get into all the topics that you want to. Tell stories that you don't want to hear about some Indiana defensive coordinator.
John Ross.
And you're like, I want to ask you about Sam Darnold. I want to ask you about Mike McDonald.
I want to ask you about Byron Murphy. I wanted to ask you about multiple tight ends. I got some stuff about how the game is going to change with all this under center stuff. But you know what? We'll do it next week.
I don't want to answer that, so I just tell stories and take up your time.
I can see that.
It's a filibuster.
Joel, love you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. There's Joel Klatt.
Love you guys.
Of Fox, and he, of course, will have the Huskies this week at Michigan. Unfortunately, we do have to take a quick break, but we'll come back, and in typical fashion, Maura has found some sound. The sound hound has been doing her job back there. She always does.
I have to credit a listener for this one.
No,
I
you
hadn't
don't.
seen it. So the 425.
No, we just
told me
credit
about
Maura.
this.
We don't believe that. We're just crediting Maura. The sound hound does her thing, and it's must hear next on Brock and Salk.
The one and only Mark Schlereth. Every Monday at 4 during the NFL season with Wyman and Bob.
Are you following the playoffs?
Listen, man, I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska. Alaska adopted the Seahawks, and Alaska adopted the Mariners. So, yeah, of course I will adopt the Mariners. They're a great story. They're fun.
Good to have you on our side.
Certainly am not going to root for a Canadian team. Give me a break.
On Seattle Sports, on YouTube, and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
The LJ way is. You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people, and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. Two friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there. And it was cool because you got to take them through, and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with. And so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we perform an 18-point maintenance check with every oil change to help make sure you're good to go.
And?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Huh. Wonder why the dealership isn't that easy.
Well, we'd let you know if we found something in our check.
Oh, great. That was easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, thorough, and honest, come with no charge.
At Bible Law Group, we understand when your legal problems hit biblical levels. That's why you can't wait 20 years to make the playoffs. You need help in court now. With James Bible and his team by your side, don't panic when the giants you're facing seem 10 feet tall, or when you feel trapped in a lion's den of litigation. At Bible Law Group, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. When your legal problems are biblical, contact Bible Law and let our talented team get to work. No matter the case, find us at BibleLawGroup.com.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed. Or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Northwest homeowners, when it comes to your roof, you need a name you can trust. Techline Roofing has proudly served the Seattle area for years, delivering exceptional results and lasting security. Choose Techline Roofing. Your trust is our foundation. Trust Techline.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Dick's Sporting Goods is hosting a playoff pregame pep rally today at their Northgate location from 9 to 3. Pick out playoff merchandise and get game ready with a live DJ, free popcorn, and a face painting station. Pick up your official postseason merch at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Baseball's postseason is here. Seattle Sports Playoff coverage is presented by Honey Bucket, 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
So A.J. Hinch had his hands full with the Seattle Mariners. He gave them 5 games. Good for them, but ultimately they succumb. And he was asked on MLB radio, Brock, what happened? Why weren't they able to beat the lowly Mariners from Southeast Alaska? And he had answers.
He just had an answer from the pitching side. You know, no matter where you were in the lineup, it felt like, man, can they use Brash again? Yep. Can they get to Munoz for 2 innings? Yep. they just keep coming at you. And their rotation, I love when they call Bryce Miller like a fifth starter. Like, I know his numbers weren't great this year, but it's like, come on, dude. That's your fifth starter is Bryce Miller pumping 96, 97 with a good split and a good slider. So their volume of pitchers coming at you.
Yeah, people have called him a whole lot worse than a fifth starter. Some people, Craig Carton, have called him a journeyman nobody tool over the course of just the last 24 hours. So fifth starter sounds like actually kind of a compliment compared to some other words that are being used to describe Bryce Miller. But I think AJ makes a good point. No matter where you are, they've seemed to have an answer for you.
Yeah. We have become a prisoner of this moment right now, which is what happens to all of us as we cover these teams in sport. And we forget what so much of the messaging was for years, really, after 2022, Salk. And that is, man, this team is so much more built for the postseason, the regular season. Right? It is about starting pitching and pitching in general and power. And if they can only get to the postseason, if they can only find a way to get that win here or that win there, because, in the regular season, the strikeout rate, the lack of contact, you're going to go through some of these peaks and these valleys and these swoons. But if the Mariners can just get to the postseason, they can really express, their strengths and their talents where they matter the most. And is that not what AJ is a little bit talking about?
I would say so. I mean, he's certainly talking about it in terms of the pitching staff and some of the challenges that come with just trying to get a decent matchup. And then he goes on to talk about the lineup as well.
And then when you look at their lineup, you got to look at their lineup a lot differently than you used to. Like they had a hard time scoring runs at times, but when you roll around the lineup, they have a couple switch hitters which are hard to match up with. Arozarena hasn't really gotten started yet. He's an impact guy. Julio obviously burned us a little bit in our series, and then Polanco just hides in the six hole, and all of a sudden you look up and he has been instrumental to their success. So I'm rattling off 5, 6, 7 names, in their order, which is a different style of Mariners team than what's been there, in previous seasons and the teams that have fallen short, in their quest to get to the World Series.
And he obviously could have named Naylor. He didn't even name Cal Raleigh there. Could have named the 9-hitter who burned him a couple of times, J.P. Crawford. I mean, he really, that could have been an even longer answer than it was. And it's what I keep saying, just the depth of this team. 1 through 26, the only place they don't have significant depth is in their bullpen. And
that doesn't come to play in the postseason.
Not nearly as often.
Not nearly as, again, to the point about, hey, man, if this team could get to the postseason, right, it is days in between, and the travel will be so much less than what they even did in the regular season. And you can lean into Mooney for 2, and you can lean into Bryce for 2, and you can lean into your top tier leverage guys.
Those days off are so enormously important, right? You just mentioned, but the days off are huge. Okay, you pitched them 2 days in a row. Cool, you get a day off the next day. Like you almost never have to play more than 2 games in a row. Occasionally you have to play a third. But for the most part, you don't have to play more than twice in a row in the postseason.
That's right.
Which gives you the opportunity. We asked Jeff about it yesterday, and he was saying, you can go out and win with essentially an 8-man pitching staff. And that's what the Mariners are trying to do. I don't know if it's quite as simple. I think the more guys you can turn to in the postseason, the more guys that you've been able to give some rest to during the regular season, I think the better off you are. And I think we've seen it. Alex Rodriguez is going to join us in 25 minutes. I do wonder if he, not like I want to go into bad memories for him, although I certainly don't mind doing that. I do wonder if he remembers that in 2004, one of the challenges the Yankees had was that they really only used 3 guys in that bullpen the entire year. And when they got to the ALCS, one of the biggest problems they had, and I know I'm going back 20 years, but since A-Rod's about to join us, is that the 2 guys they had, Paul Quantrill and Tom Gordon, were toast. Right? I mean, Rivera, Quantrill, and Gordon, that was their whole pitching staff, essentially, their whole bullpen. Occasionally Scott Proctor. And Joe Torre, I know he's a Hall of Fame manager, and everybody, praises the ground he walks on. But I thought he got outmanaged that year in that he leaned on those guys so heavily that they were toast by the time they got to the ALCS, whereas the other team, in that case the Red Sox, had a much deeper bullpen. And I think that was a major factor in why the Red Sox were able to pull off that comeback. So
once again, and we chatted about it with Jeff yesterday, and we've talked about it for the last few months. And I mean, the remarkable redemptive story of Bizzardo.
Mm-hmm.
And being here and,
it's a huge deal.
Oh my gosh.
It really is a huge deal.
Because you have your two, Inspire is your lefty stud, but you need that fourth. He doesn't have a fourth.
Yep.
And Bizzardo been all of that and more. I mean, just been that kind of dude through this run in the second half of the season, especially.
That's a great point. You cannot undersell like how important he has been. It's really just been incredible. Brent Rooker, just another guy who knows the team well, also lining up to praise the Mariners.
Yeah, seeing Seattle 4 times a year with those starters they have and the bullpen they have as well is not a fun time. They got a couple guys in their rotation that I really have trouble with and that really have my number and have historically. But I did manage to put some better bats together against them this year, have a little bit more success. And then, Toronto's the same way. Kevin's really tough on me. They got some guys in the bullpen that are elite too. So both, easy to see, after facing them as much as we did, why both those teams have made it as far as they have and then are having as much success as they're having.
And oh, by the way, let's just say this as well. You've done all this postseason without your all-star.
Right, without your top pitcher.
Without your very best top gun.
It's really amazing.
Yes. You have navigated all of it, and it's, hopefully halfway there, right?
Well, let's get into that because that is sort of the next question is where is Bryan Woo and how quickly could he be back? He did speak yesterday. I'll play you that sound, and we'll give you some answers and need to know next. Alex Rodriguez coming up in 20. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports, seattlesports.com.
2 down, 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Seaport Airlines. If airport slowdowns and delays have you rethinking your trip, well, there's an easier way to fly. Seaport Airlines flies TSA free with service between Portland Business Aviation and Seattle's Boeing Field. No delays, no stress. Book today at flyseaportair.com.
At West Hills Autoplex, we thoroughly inspect and prepare every used car to be like new. Because to you, it is new. We also pay you top dollar for your vehicle. So there's no better place to give your old car a new story. Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3 Bremerton.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my friends at PCF Construction. You know, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, PCFgroup.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brock, you asked for an update on Brian Wu, and the Mariners gave one yesterday. He did throw a bullpen and met with the media afterwards, and he sounded a whole lot more positive than he did when we last heard from him a week or two ago. He was asked whether there's anything else left to check off before he's ready to pitch.
I'm ready to get in the game, and last box to check is just to get my name called. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've done, everything that I can the last couple of weeks to handle my business in the training room, in the weight room, on the field, everything that I can control, and kind of put the rest in the hands of the trainers and coaches and whatnot. So luckily we have a great staff that trust with the rest of it, and the rest of it I kind of just have to let go. But yeah, now I'm ready to go.
Doesn't he sound a lot better, a lot more confident than he did?
Yeah. Can't they send him to some instructional sim game in Arizona?
I mean, I think they can do a lot of that here
in
with the taxi squad, right? Yes, they're going to send him to Korea, Brock. Yeah, that would be the closest
play the KBL
place.
League. Yeah.
Yes, that would be the closest spot. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Well, he
does seem like, honestly, though, he seems like when Joel was talking about creatures of habit, Schler with creatures of habit, like It would be nice, I think, for him to get a sim game to go. If it was the regular season, he would have a couple rehab games.
Yep.
Not going to get that opportunity.
No.
And in fact, the first time he picks up the ball, going to be some pretty big stakes.
That's for sure. I mean, as of now, he would be slotted in for a Game 5 of the ALCS. So the possible scenarios are, best case scenario, there is no Game 5. The Mariners win the next two. Next best, he takes the ball with a 3-1 lead at home. That seems like a pretty good spot to be able to throw Brian Wu. And then obviously, if you lose the next two games, he's throwing a pivotal Game 5, trying to give you a lead heading back to Toronto. So the drama is certainly building for what could occur. Obviously, Game 3 is tonight. It'll be George Kirby on the hill. It'll be Shane Bieber going for the Blue Jays. He's been okay since returning from Tommy John.
He was really good against the Mariners before the injury.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe even the day he got injured, he pitched through some of that. Do you remember that? It was like 6 shutout innings.
But look, there's also a reason that right now he's starting Game 3 behind Gossman and a rookie. I mean, you got to just find a way to get to him and knock him out. He probably won't be able to go too deep into this game and continue to feast on the bullpen of the Blue Jays, which quite frankly is okay.
Erratic.
Yeah, erratic is probably a good word for it. Anyway, NLCS kind of getting away from the Brewers a little bit. They're now down 2-0.
Yamamoto fires. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Ball game. And the Dodgers have taken a 2-game to-none lead in this best-of-7 National League Championship Series. Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes the distance, and the Dodgers won it 5-1.
Yeah, complete game.
How about that?
Blake shoved for 8 the night before.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Right?
Bullpen. Who needs a bullpen? We don't need one guy. We have one guy in the bullpen. Give me Trinan in the bullpen, and these guys will throw 8 or 9 innings. Unreal.
Yeah, they could not say we killed Yamamoto. That's just a name of a West Wing episode that I thought I'd throw in there for you. If Adam Amin was here, Brock, he'd get it. I know you don't. It's
what
fine.
was the building in Die Hard?
Huh? Nakatomi Plaza?
Oh, okay.
Is that even a question? You're asking that? What generation are you from?
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mara, I apologize. I'm an idiot. Mentioning the very words Die Hard. Now I've totally ruined this segment.
You've derailed him.
I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to figure out how to continue working with a partner who knows so little. What is the building called in Die Hard? Who are you? I don't even know you anymore. Seahawks, Brock, looking good. They are up to number 8 in the ESPN Power Rankings. I know that doesn't mean a whole lot, but this did. Daniel Jeremiah said this yesterday. I thought it was eye-opening. We asked him who the best in the NFC was.
I said this on the show yesterday. I honestly think it's a rematch of the game you guys saw the week before. Just in terms of who's playing the best. I think those two teams are playing the best right now.
Seattle and Tampa.
Yeah. That's just what I've watched on a weekly basis. The teams that impress me the most that, when you're watching them kind of jumps off the screen a little bit. And I say that knowing Philly's got time to figure out what's going on with them. We'll see Green Bay as they kind of go throughout the year, as they, do they take it up to another gear? Atlanta's playing great. There's some good options out there, but just in terms of the week to week stuff, what I've seen, I don't think I've seen better teams than those two.
Yeah. And the NFC North, by the way, is loaded. Chicago is relevant and better. Green Bay is really good. Minnesota, Detroit. I mean, the NFC, it was kind of looked upon as the little brother this whole offseason, right? You don't have the quarterbacks. You don't have Joe Burrow. You don't have Lamar. You don't have Patrick. You don't have Josh. Well, yeah, but there's much more substantial teams, and especially at the line of scrimmage. Seattle just went into 4-1 Jacksonville, who had just beaten Kansas City, and physically just mollywopped them. Manhandled those suckers. Like Bruce Willis did in Die Hard. Just the whole thing over.
I mean, kind of. He was more of a fly in the ointment, Brock. A monkey in the wrench, pain in the ass.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Down here at Nakatomi Plaza, they're turning my car into Swiss cheese. I need reinforcements now. Can't say the rest of it. Kraken with a rough start, Brock, rough finish, played well in between. They get a point for taking the Canadiens to overtime last night, but they don't get the win. Goals for Jared McCann, Yanni Newman, Jaden Schwartz, Jamie Alexiak. They'll head to Ottawa tomorrow. That is everything you need to know.
Nice.
1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show.
You feel good about tonight?
Yeah.
Before we get A-Rod on here?
I
you feel matchup-wise, personnel-wise, building-wise. Like, here's the only thing I would say. You're going to get, unlike a Toronto team at home that felt all the pressure of playing in front of those people, a Toronto team at home that was coming off all of the applause.
What do you mean,
beating
the pressure? They had played tremendously well in front of them just the week earlier.
Toronto was the number 1 seed. Toronto,
and they went out there and
game.
at home dismantled the Yankees.
And the pressure is on you to beat this team that's got to come across the continent that just played 15 innings. It's out of gas.
They were the number 1 seed, taking on
That's
the
right.
Yankees.
They are the number 1 seed, and the pressure was on
battered
them. And the pressure was on them.
Yeah.
And they, too, like, you can laugh and say, wow, they did do it with Joe Carter, but they have had stumbles and bumbles and fumbles. And those are very nice Canadians, Salk. But they were expecting their team to deliver. They were expecting their team to take care of business. And the minute the Mariners and Cal Raleigh hit that home run, it took some of the air out of them. And I think, honestly, the best thing for them to do is get the heck out of Toronto and away from that situation.
Maybe.
And you're going to get a desperate animal. You're going to get I don't know how desperate a Blue Jay can be. I've not seen a desperate Blue Jay in my life. But you're going to get a team which back is squarely against the wall. Vlad is a superstar, can be a game changer, did nothing the first 2 games, and they can't fall behind in their mind.
I don't know. If there's the only thing that would worry me at all is just the ability to hit the ball out of this ballpark in this weather as it gets cold tonight. This was from our guy Hembo, right, at ESPN, who just sent this out. I know Lyle will like this. Others may not. I thought it was great. ALCS games 1 and 2. This is just reading from Hembo. Whiffs, Mariners 43, Blue Jays 20. Chases, Mariners 41, Blue Jays 28. Strikeouts, Mariners 25, Blue Jays 9. Quote from Hembo, small ball works, except when it doesn't, which is usually, especially in October.
Please read that to Alex. I'd really be curious how A-Rod's going to respond to that.
A-Rod is so funny because the guy had how many home runs in his
career?
Over
700.
700 home runs.
696 to be exact.
696. And he's like, well, you got to bunt. I mean, if you don't play small ball, you can't do it.
Got to get guys up, get them over, get them on, get them over.
I don't know. Mariners didn't do any of that. They seem to be doing just fine in the series. We'll be back with Alex Rodriguez to finish off the show next on Brock and Salk.
It's the Hawks Player Spotlight.
Tight end A.J. Barner is with us. How are you, man?
Doing well. It's good to be on here.
Brought to you by Three Tree Roofing.
The rookie on this O-line, Gray Zabel, is with us. Sam is an elite quarterback.
Going deep with a different Hawks player every day at 3:30 with Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports.
Every time he walks into the huddle, we know we got a chance for a big play. Nick Eamon-Wari is with us. I felt good physically going into the game.
Catch up on every Hawks Spotlight on Seattle Sports on YouTube and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Now's a good time to start thinking about yourself, thinking about getting yourself into the best shape of your life as we're sitting here watching the postseason, watching these athletes that have worked so hard for so long to get here. You don't have to work nearly as hard as they do to get into the best shape of your life. So if I told you you could drop 25, 35 more pounds, you could do it just in the next month or two, wouldn't you say yes to that? It worked for me, and it can for you with the help of Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. As I said, I did the program. Dropped 25 pounds in a month, 35 pounds overall, without pills, without injections, no counting calories, no fake prepackaged junk meals. No, real food that you buy at the grocery store. You're following a plan, one that includes eating delicious, fresh food, and then a team to provide the help, the encouragement, the coaching, and the accountability as well. You can do it. Book a free 15-minute phone call. Do it today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, a full sports book and bar, over 1,000 top-rated slots and table games, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Rain is coming. Is your roof ready? The rainy season is approaching fast, Seattle, and 3Tree Roofing has your roof replacement covered. Get $500 off by scheduling your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com. Their professional installers guarantee a seamless replacement this rainy season. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest.
Celebrate by saving 25% off new Leak Armor installed windows through October. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Lines is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Your home for baseball's postseason and your American League West champion Mariners. Seattle Sports.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with 0 investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, rolling along here, Brock. Let's finish up today's show. About 25 more minutes to go, and what a treat to be able to spend some of that time with Alex Rodriguez, former Mariner, and, of course, one of the pregame hosts for Fox and FS1. We've been watching him throughout this little run here, and he joins us right now. Good morning, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Well, we were hoping this would happen, Alex. You joined us, last year or so, 2 years ago, and we were hoping at some point, at some time, right, we're going to get Burkhart, we're going to get Big Papi, we're going to get Jeter, we're going to get A-Rod, we're going to get to the ALCS. At what point in this season, Alex, did you think the Mariners could be in this position?
Well, you never know, guys, because, I mean, obviously it's been pretty, dry for about 25 years since 2000 and 2001, where both teams went to the ALCS. And you just never know. I mean, the American League is stacked, and you see how hard it was to get here. And obviously that Game 5 was just epic. I mean, talk about name a franchise that's had two more epic Game 5s in one history than the Mariners. But they certainly have come around the corner, and I certainly think getting over that 15-inning kind of mountain, they came out, and we talked about it in the telecast, as a much more relaxed team in Game 1 and 2 on the road.
So you've been pretty high on them, though. I mean, just kind of watching these pre- and post-game shows and kind of hearing you talk about the Mariners, you seem like you've got a pretty good sense of what makes them tick. Why have you been high on this team?
Yeah, actually, I've been getting destroyed by my colleagues because everybody's been so pro-Toronto.
Well, your colleague, I mean, I want to be fair, and I have to say it. Your colleagues honestly sound not biased, not like they don't like the Mariners, but like most of America, and especially people on the East Coast, like they just haven't really seen them much. And I don't blame anybody for that. The Mariners haven't been on a lot of national TV over the last few years, but it just kind of sounds like they don't know that much about them.
It's such a strange thing, you know, as an alum from my Mariners, and I love the Mariners, love the fans, love that stadium. I'm having to basically be the voice of Seattle to our national audience and help them understand that when you play in Seattle, even though Griffey and myself and Edgar, you know, we had such a great group led by Lou Piniella, of course, and Randy Johnson, Dan Wilson. I mean, we were on national TV as much as anybody, like we were in a big market. But, you know, there's a chip on the shoulder, and I've been explaining to the national audience that, you know, baseball's king, especially when you have a team like this one that is so fun to watch and so exciting. And it's Amazon, it's Starbucks, and it's the Mariners. So far I'm 2-0. Hopefully it continues the mojo for Seattle.
Yeah, you do know this fan base, Alex. You did play here. You did go to 3 different playoffs with these fans, and it was in a different building, that Kingdome, that rocked a little bit. From your life experience, what do you think a trip to the World Series would mean for this fan base?
Boy, I mean, talk about, you know, full circle. I mean, 30 years ago, baseball was saved by another Game 5, you know, double by Edgar Martinez that scored Griffey. And I welcomed them as a 18 or 19-year-old at home plate. I just think that it would, you know, take this franchise, you know, from one of the best in baseball, one of the best in sports, to really elite. And I could not be more hopeful for those fans up there that have been such great fans for such a long time. They deserve it. And it will be a game changer, to tell you the truth.
Well, the guy who played hero in that Game 5 was Jorge Polanco. He's been a hero now through the first couple games of the ALCS as well. Does he remind you of anyone you played with, anyone you've been around in the game? Who does Jorge Polanco remind you of?
In a weird way, you're going to laugh here. Another switch hitter from Puerto Rico, Joey Cora. And I guess the difference is Polanco's Dominican, but it's usually those guys, you know, that are not the headliners that make you turn that corner, that are the real big difference makers. And look, when the Tigers went into the Mariners, obviously you have Kyle Raleigh and Rosarena, and obviously Julio's been great. The last guy you're probably thinking about is Polanco, and here we go. Here's the guy that, you know, has been the MVP so far for this Mariners postseason. He's been incredible. And the fact that he was hurt, a lot of people thought he wasn't going to make it, you know, past the last couple of years. It was a great signing by management, and boy, has it paid dividends.
Do you think, Alex Rodriguez here with us, you all know the voice anyway, do you think if we had heart rate monitors on guys, I've always clamored for this, especially in football, built into the shoulder pads. It'd be really easy to do. I'd love to see it, Alex, of just what is their heartbeat? What is their heart rate? From the outside, it looks like Polanco's never changes. Do you think if we actually had heart rate monitors, we would see a lot of variance between different players?
I mean, watching Polanco and how cool, calm, and collected, it might get a little spike, but it might just get back to flat really quickly. You know, there's some people, look, I'm playing with two guys, playing, when I say playing, whatever my playing days are, blocked and relayed, it's going to the set. But I work with two guys to my left in Jeter and Poppy, and where they're the gold standard of keeping an even, heartbeat. So it's fun to watch with those guys. And there's some guys like Polanco that, they do the opposite of shrinking, right? They grow in the biggest moments. And you can tell with the demeanor and reading body language in the post and pregame interviews that he's just a calm, cool, and collected guy.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been spending a lot of the morning talking about pressure, talking about killer instinct for whatever that means in the game of baseball, and kind of what it means to be up 2-0 in a series like this. How do you think the modern baseball player, the modern athlete, deals with pressure?
Well, I would say this. I mean, players have never had more pressure than today. They've never had more voices. Excuse me. They've never had more white noise to deal with. That's why, I was making the point with Jeter and Big Papi and Kevin Burkhardt in our pregame that I predicted that the Mariners would be much better in game one, because once you kind of stare at death, and you did probably 10 different times in that 15-inning game, once you get over that mountain, you kind of have a sigh of relief, and you're saying, okay, we won, but we got away with a couple, big mistakes, or we got away with not dying. And the energy was one that was fresh, it was new, and it was more loosey-goosey, and they played really well.
So that's when you come out of that, and really there's, in some ways, no pressure on them in the beginning of the series. How do you handle being up 2-0, right? The prosperity of coming back now, and it's like, hey, you got to go close it out. It's a totally different, I would think, a totally different emotional state.
Totally different. I mean, you go from being in a David and Goliath kind of, matchup, you end up switching roles. All of a sudden, you're up 2-0. You're going to your home base with the great fan base of Seattle in a beautiful building, and all of a sudden you become David instead of Goliath. And that's the hardest thing in sports, is having to close out. Game 3 is going to be really, really difficult. And obviously the last game, that's why you have some of the greatest closers in the game, like Mariano Rivera. Those last 3 outs, those last win in the series always are the most challenging one. I think you got to keep yourself in tunnel vision and pretend you're still 0-0 or 1-1. And don't believe the hype when you get home. Don't get comfortable. Don't get distracted. It's really about doing exactly what you've been doing. And I joked about it. Even if you have to go to the DoubleTree down the street and stay away from everybody to stay focused, do it, because this is something that your whole life, your whole sports career, it's at stake here, your legacy.
And don't you think you're going to get Toronto's very best shot tonight as well?
There's no question about it. I mean, these guys are great players. They're very well managed. They have a blue-collar approach, and they're coming out swinging, and they're going to be more focused, and they're going to be away from home. No more fanfare. I think you have to be able to sustain and absorb that punch, but it's coming.
I was thinking about you, Alex, and we're talking to Alex Rodriguez in a conversation about Julio Rodriguez, and both of you came through the Mariners system with incredibly high expectations. Both of you incredibly talented young players who came to the big leagues probably, early in your life, or earlier than most guys make it to the big leagues, and had some immediate level of success. And in Julio's case, it felt, and I can't speak for him, but it felt anyway like there was a bit of a burden of expectation, a bit of a burden of leadership, and everything kind of being focused on him. This year, he decided not to go to the All-Star game, and in the meantime, Cal Raleigh really took the mantle of being the one player that everyone was talking about. He wore a lot of the leadership for the team. What, just kind of drawing on your own experience, what do you think that could have done for Julio this year?
Well, a few things. It's funny you say that, because I feel so attached, and he's my good buddy. He's like my little bro, Rodriguez. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal person. But young people need great leadership. And it's funny that we're both Dominican. We both were Rodriguez. We both played for the great Seattle in the Northwest, he plays. And I had great leaders in Lou Piniella, Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, Ken Griffey. I mean, guys that to this day I absolutely adore because of what they did for me. And they were such great role models. He goes from feeling the way he was feeling, to now he has Dan Wilson, who's a mentee of Lou Piniella, and he has the great Edgar Martinez. And I think DePino, the head of baseball over there, has done a great job of bringing in analytics, but also having the old school kind of legacy players that could not be more respected, not only in Seattle, but around the baseball community. You're not going to find better than Dan Wilson. You're not going to find better than Edgar Martinez. So I spent a lot of time with Julio this year on FaceTime and Zooming on things he wanted to work on. And, really, really proud of the work he's doing. But like I told him the other day, he's got more work to do.
Did you think Danny would do this one day when you were a teammate of his and watching him through and continuing to be around the Mariners organization? Did you think he would be a skipper one day?
No, you know what I thought he would end up doing? And it's funny because he went to the University of Minnesota. I thought he would end up being like a priest or a preacher or some type of philanthropy. I mean, I knew that he's a great husband, he's a great son, he's a great father, he's one of the greatest teammates around. He's beloved in Seattle. Everywhere Dan Wilson goes, he's loved. And there's a reason why Lou Piniella brought him from Cincinnati, because he knew what kind of person he was. I didn't think he would be managing, but I thought, Brock and Salk, that he would be in some type of leadership role with a higher purpose. And I think he's doing that right now for Seattle.
They got a higher purpose, man. They got another round to go. I mean, you got to try to win the ALCS, get to a place they've never been before. One challenge that we've talked about, and there's a lot to. I really think they're the most talented team in the American League between the depth of the lineup, the starting staff, rotation, and then the bullpen, especially the leverage guys. But it is interesting. Once you get beyond 3-4 guys in the bullpen, you start to have challenges. And again, kind of thinking back on your career, I do think about the 2004 season and some of the lack of depth in the Yankee pen that year that felt like it came back to bite you in the ALCS as Quantrill and Gordon kind of wore out a little bit or wore down. How do you look at relievers kind of gearing themselves up to get as many appearances as they have to go through an entire postseason?
Yeah, boy, you just brought back some awful memory. So thank you.
I grew up in Boston. I can't help it, Alex. I'm sorry.
Alex,
you
really
have to understand that's
really
like the greatest moment
this.
of my sport watching career. There's only I just can't not bring it up. I'm sorry.
I can hear it in the excitement in your voice. I love it. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, look, when you look at the underbelly of any pitching staff, is that kind of softer part of the bullpen. And when you look at the best teams, the way they've done it, they really try to surround themselves with 2 to 4 guys that they can count on. But in a 7-game series, or even multiple game series, if you want to go to the World Series and win it, you're going to depend on more than 2 or 4 guys. And I think the key is you got to be aware that there's huge ramifications when you pull out pitchers so early in game one. I thought Snyder, the Blue Jays manager, made a mistake by pulling Gosman in game 1 after 76 pitches. That's okay in a regular season when you can manipulate rosters in and out. But in a 7-game series, that means you give the Mariners a double win. 1, they win the game 3-1, but 2, they get 4 free looks at that bullpen that then they're going to go out and face 3 or 4 times in the next 7 or 8 days, advantage Mariners. So if you had to play it again, if Gosman can go his average 95 pitches instead of 76, maybe the Mariners get 2 free looks, but they don't get the looks they got. And then obviously in game 2, was it Verlander who gave up the home run? Mm-hmm. Verlander gives up the home run to Judge. Then he starts the next day, and then he pitches game 1. It ends up and adding up.
Last couple things for me here, A-Rod. How big of a deal, since you've been in all these environments, how big a deal really is 47,000 rocking that building tonight? I know what it does in football. I know the noise that it creates, the chaos communication, the half-step advantage for a defense, all of those things. But from a baseball perspective, in an ALCS, how big of a deal is that crowd really?
I mean, look, I was there, and I love playing at home. I love the fans. It really is the 10th man and an incredible home field advantage. And don't forget, guys, that whoever's usually flying to Seattle is going to be on a flight for at least 3 hours. And that becomes I know that when I was there for 7 years, it was a huge competitive advantage for us. Now you just got to own your home field and protect it.
And then lastly, we asked Jeff Passan this yesterday, and you baseball guys always seem to know ahead of everybody else how these games are going to unfold, take shape, because you've been a part of so many of them. Give me a couple of the biggest keys for the Mariners to close this thing out in this homestand over the next 3 nights.
Well, I think the first 3 innings are going to be vital for the Mariners, because we're going to see, how the Mariners can deal with success. And with the Blue Jays, we're going to see how they deal with some, adversity in the first couple of innings. And it remains the same thing it always has for over 100 years. You got to pitch, you got to defend, you got to have timely hitting. And when you get those runners at second, if you don't want to bunt, you better get them over to third base, because you don't want the difference of going to the World Series or not, because you couldn't advance the runner 90 feet. And they got away with that in Game 5. But against a team like Toronto, I don't think they'll be able to get away with that.
Got to give you credit, man. Dealing with the New York media as long as you did. I was just listening to Craig Carton today call Bryce Miller a journeyman. What did he call him? A journeyman tool?
Bum.
I mean, essentially said that he was somebody that no one should even think about. Dealing with what you dealt with as long as you did in the New York press, I'm impressed. I got to tell you, to bite your tongue on a daily basis has to be challenging.
Well, I don't know if anything to do with media. I've done well at anything, but I certainly enjoyed my time. And I'll tell you, some of my greatest memories in my life has been with my mom, with my sister, with my brother, with Chuck Armstrong, Woody Woodward, Lou Piniella. A lot of my life is shaped because my time in Seattle, and I certainly miss it.
Wow, that's very nice of you to say, and a lot of nice feedback coming through our text line right now as well. Alex, thanks for a second appearance here on the show. We really appreciate it, and we'll look forward to
now when they go to the World Series, we'll be bothering you again.
Yeah, that's probably true. We'll probably bother you next week if they go to the World Series.
We'll do it again.
All righty.
Good luck, guys.
There you go.
Work.
There's Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod himself, here on the Brock and Salk Show. And I think you heard it the last time he was on, and you hear it again now. We'll get back to sort of the baseball element of it, but I think you can hear very clearly a desire on Alex's part to, I'm not even sure, somebody wrote in an olive branch. Yeah, there's an olive branch extended, but I'm going to try to play amateur therapist for a moment. It feels like he's trying to put back sort of one of the big traumatic experiences of his career. He had an enormous decision to make. He made it. There are consequences to that and benefits as well. And I'm going to guess, just listening to him now, and I've never been like Mr. Big A-Rod fan. I think I've made that clear over the years. But it does sound anyway as if there's just some unresolved issue there of like, yeah, I not that he regrets what he did, although I think he told us the last time he was on that if he could do it again, he might have done it differently. But just that element of like, yeah, how can I make peace with this one part early in my life that's never quite sat well with him? For a guy that by all accounts really wants to be liked by as many people as possible, I'm sure it's hard that, what he dealt with every time he would come back to Seattle. And it does sound like he's really interested in reaching out to change that.
Yeah, I would say 2 things. I would say, having spent some time off the field and off air and around Alex, I'd say, I don't even know if it's as much liked at this age and stage of life. It's the respect factor and understanding, right? The caliber of player he was there. He was unbelievable. He was a 10-WAR player. I mean, he was so good for the Mariners on the field, and wants that, to be respected, because he knew how important all those guys were around him to that growth and development. Like, you get to near 50 years of age, you got time now to look back in your rearview mirror, Salk, and you go, golly, those really were 6, 7 amazing freaking years with great people. And I don't want that to be lost, and I don't want it to be a negative. I wanted it to be celebrated for the teammate that I was, the teammates that were around me, the organization that we saved, right? He was a part of that, of saving baseball in Seattle. We talk about going to a World Series. We wouldn't have baseball here if it weren't for that 95 team and 96 and what they meant to build that stadium. So
his Not his rookie year technically, but the year where he first played a whole season. He had a 9.4 win season.
Bro, he was
unbelievable.
At age 20.
At age 20, finished second in the MVP that year.
Call it a hot take all you want, but peak A-Rod, in my opinion, is the second greatest player in the history of the Mariner franchise. And I'll put him ahead of Ichiro.
How about this? That year, I know WAR wasn't a thing yet, and we'll come back to the modern day in a moment. A-Rod finished, this is looking at Baseball Reference, with 9.4 wins that year. Do you know who won the MVP that year, off the top of your head?
No.
Juan Gonzalez. Do you know what Juan Gon's WAR was that year? 3.8.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy? Yep. He was just under a 4-win player, which is fine. That's a good player. But he put up almost 9.5 wins. Junior, by the way, came in fourth at 9.7 WAR, and Albert Bell was between
Told the story
them.
before, man. 95, my first start, right? So we kind of came up together. He was, about the same age as me when I was coming out of Puyallup High School, and he was playing for the Mariners. And my first start as a Husky against the University of Arizona. And who was on the sidelines? Alex Rodriguez. And I remember it was such a calming thing for me, Salk, because I was like, if this dude's doing it in pro baseball with Griffey and he's like, what am I doing? I'm playing Arizona.
Right.
Let me just go let it rip.
The OPS numbers that year are so absurd. 7 of the 8 guys the top 8 in American League voting that year, 7 of the 8 had an OPS over 1,000. Juan Gon, 1011. A-Rod, 1045. Albert Bell, 1033. Ken Griffey Jr., 1020. Mo Vaughn, 1003. Rafael Palmeiro stands out at 927. Leading the league is Mark McGuire at 1198. Frank Thomas, 1085. And all the way down to 15th in the voting, Jim Thome at 1062.
Yep.
Can you fathom how much offense was in the game at that point compared to now? Unbelievable difference compared to what we're watching. All right, time for us to get going, man. Game 3 will be tonight. George Kirby on the hill.
First 3 innings, man. As A-Rod's, I think the first 3
I would agree with him on that.
Because the Mariners, you know what they did in the first 3 innings, especially of Game 2, is they took those fans out of it in Toronto, right? First 3 innings of Game 1 kind of stayed alive till Cal turned the corner. First 3 innings tonight of George throwing strikes, first 3 nights, if you get ahead of this Toronto team and you just embolden the 47,000, look out. First 3 innings going to be pretty big tonight.
Brady Anderson with 50 home runs that year doesn't even crack
I thought
the
it was
top
Die
8.
Hard that was going to take you off track. Nope, it's just...
It's just looking at the 1996 AL MVP voting. Pretty crazy. All right. Have fun, everyone, tonight. I'm going to be over there looking forward to watching the game in person and a whole lot to talk about tomorrow as we'll react to everything we see. We could probably use some Here's the Thing submissions if you guys want to send those in by downloading the Seattle Sports app. And stick around for Bump and Stacy next. Extended pregame coverage down near the stadium with Dave and Bob and Ryan Rowland-Smith. See you guys at 6 a.m. Until then, hey.
Oh, man, what a night in the barn.
See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Two down, 2 to go.
And the Mariners extend the lead back at the wall, and it's gone! Jorge Polanco, Mr. October!
The Mariners go for a commanding 3-0 series lead. Tonight, it's Game 3 of the ALCS at T-Mobile. First pitch at 5:08.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
And there's only one place you can hear the American League West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
In the Pacific Northwest, choose Star Rentals for construction equipment. With 18 locations, they deliver superior service and unmatched follow-through. Visit starrentals.com. Star Rentals, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206 466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hundreds of vehicles on the ground, 8 dealerships, 14 brands, all in one location. Visit West Hills Autoplex. We have more brands in one location than anywhere else in Washington State, import or domestic, new or pre-owned. We make finding your perfect vehicle easy, and that means a remarkable car buying experience for you. Skip the hassle with West Hills' streamlined buying experience and feel confident buying from your neighborhood family-owned dealerships. West Hills Autoplex, Auto Centerway exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hey 12's Steve Rabel here for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. For men 40 and older, a simple PSA blood test can help intercept prostate cancer early. You can get the simple test before the Crucial Catch game October 20th at Ticketmaster Tailgate.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly.